Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Bug, Loam, Pox with Uro. That's right, we've got Smallpox, we've got Life from the Loam, and we've got Uro. So our goal is to cast Malevolent Rumble, fill up our graveyard with URO'S and Life from the Loams, and then just go to town. We break the parity of Smallpox by playing creatures that come with their own sackable creature, like Orcish Bowmaster. Malevolent Rumble also generates a spawn token that you can sacrifice instead of sacrificing your escaped Uro. And of course, Liliana's here to help our opponent get to Hellbent as quickly as possible. We're also rocking the Thoughtseize. Orcish Bowmasters, of course, very strong against other Orcish Bowmasters, and just can come in and chump for a few turns while we try to stabilize with our powerful lands. So we have not a single basic in the deck because of the mana requirements of green, green, blue, blue, and double black. So we are playing tech lands in here. Boseiju is awesome. Very powerful effect. And Otawara has saved my bacon more than once. I played 2 previous leagues. One was a 4-1, one was a 3-2. Both were very exciting. I got to do crazy degenerate things with Mox Diamond, and I'm hoping to do some more. Sideboard very quickly. Leyline of the Void. This is pre-ban. I presume that like Oops All Spells and Blue-Black Reanimator are going to get nerfed somehow during the bans, but we're playing pre-ban, so I think 4 Leylines is necessary. I'm playing the 4 Barragoyfs. I can pivot into kind of like an aggro deck if I need to against more controlling decks or against like Urza Saga construct decks. We've got 4 Force of Vigor here. These have been so good against artifact strategies, and we have plenty of green cards to pitch to them. We've got a Disruptor Flute here, and we've got double Tabernacle of Pendrell. Yeah, this is not a deck that you're going to want to build in paper generally, unless you just have a bunch of Tabernacles lying around. This was a choice. Like, this was originally Toxic Deluge, but I kept finding that like my Toxic Deluges were ending up in the graveyard due to Malevolent Rumble and Life from the Loam and stuff. So I would rather just have something that I can reliably get out of the graveyard. And since we're keeping our opponents low resource, if they're going wide, if they're doing like a tokens deck or something like this, this should curb that. So we're going to play a full 5 rounds as always. It'll be fun. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against a likely 12 post strategy. This is the Wastelock. That seems pretty solid here. Let's do it. If they play like a Pithing Needle, well, we are going to rain on that parade. So one of the most powerful things you can do in Legacy, in my humble opinion, is just turn 1 Life from Loam. And I think we should do that. We can Thoughtseize them next turn. If they're on Oops All Spells, I'll certainly regret that. But I'm hoping that Philip J. Fry over there, who's a good guy, fair gamer, is not on that. We will pitch our Verdant Catacombs. We're not going to let them know that the Wasteland is coming. Make them think that we have to look for it, but we actually already have it. Yeah, this is pretty much the exact type of opening hand you want to see in fair matchups. Next turn, we can not only waste and loam. Well, we can't Thoughtseize if we do that, but oh, they have a Mox Star too. We could be Tabernacle. A man after my own heart. Tabernacle. What are the least fun cards ever printed? But they don't. Do they have the Loam? So the really disgusting thing to do here is just to waste and then Witherbloom to get my Wasteland back after blowing up their Mox. I do want to do that. Yeah. Okay. Disruptor Flute. Name whatever you want. You're probably not going to name my Witherbloom. They're going to name Waste here. Life from the Loam. Okay. Well, I've got extra bad news for you here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and waste. And then, yeah, I'll just kill the Disruptor Flute on Life from the Loam. I wanted to kill their Mox, but you can't have everything, right? So we'll just get this waste back. Sure. And then even if they disrupt our Life from the Loam somehow, yeah, we just had all the answers this game. I'm thrilled that we get to showcase the deck round 1 and not just play against Oops All Spells, which I've been playing against a lot, unfortunately. All right. That's me on stage. So we are going to hope that they don't have crop rotation. There is a way to check for crop rotation. I think I'm going to take an organic draw here. Smallpox. Love it. Another Disruptor Flute. You're going to name Wasteland this time? Loam again? Okay. Let's go ahead and just take a peek at their hand. Cage does not affect us at all, but I have to choose something. Wait, actually it does affect us. It affects Uro. Yeah, that actually would have been pretty annoying. And we've used both of our Witherbloom commands, so would I have still been able to win? Yes, I would have been able to win with Orcish Bowmasters. I never fully rely on Uro as my win con. I think the simple thing to do is go ahead and just smallpox here to get them to discard a land. Their hand is Wasteland, Step. Yeah, I think I do go ahead and just reduce. I'll hold the Wasteland for later because they're clearly on like a Depths style deck. I will hide the fact that I'm playing blue for now. I can cast Life from the Loam. I just need a lot of mana to do it. That is one thing I could consider doing, is just working toward having that much mana, but I'd rather keep them low resource for now. I'll discard on a second Loam. There's Sniper over there. And I will sack one of my lands. All right. So we're just kind of both sitting here staring at one another. I am kind of thinking maybe I should have just kept going north in terms of cards and then casting Loam. They discarded the steps, so their hand is Wasteland, one unknown. It's a pity that we flipped a Witherbloom command, because that would be really strong here on the. We have Otawara and we have Boseiju that can take care of it. But it would ramp my opponent, which I don't really. Okay, they're opting to waste me. All right, we're both going to be full-blown idiot mode here, as they call it when you're just. I don't think I Loam here because I can't do anything with it. It's just a draw. I'd rather draw a land. Oh, that's perfect. That is a great draw. Increase the likelihood that we find an Uro. Now the question is, do we want to keep this mana secret? I think we do. I think we just take the Orcish Bowmaster and start beating them with it. We'll naturally draw. Yeah. I think it'd be kind of foolish to take a land when I don't even have an Uro in my yard yet. I mean, they're going to need to eventually draw action. Yavimaya, that helps me. Otawara. Well, Otawara is quite good. We can use it to get rid of this, and then we can start loaming. Is that better than just chilling for a turn? Yeah, because I can instep it, and then I can start loaming. Yeah, I think that's good. No, they'll have the mana to just redeploy it. I have to wait until they tap out. But if they don't tap out, then I can just Bowmaster instead. I'm not going to go after this land, knowing that they have Dark Depths in their deck. I think I am going to go after this land, so they don't even get the mana. Oh, they can tap it for that. That's right. I didn't think about that. Oh, and now they have the freaking crop rotation. Punished. Absolutely punished. Yeah. Let's see what their last card is here. It's probably just another Urza Saga. And Urza Saga is really powerful here. I can make one of the constructs go away without a war, I guess. Yeah, not great. And it will very quickly outclass my Orcish Bowmaster. So I think I've managed to snatch defeat from victory, the jaws of victory, as they say. Yeah, I definitely punted there. I mean, it wasn't that consequential anyway. It's not like they're going to use that mana, so. Okay. All right, we need to take an organic draw here. Another Mox really help. Not right now. It will help if we bounce this successfully. They're just going to come in for a hug and we'll pass. Yeah, because they're going to be tapping out for these Sagas constructs, and that's where we strike. Maze, oh man, they are all fully in on the lands over there. Okay, so organic draw. Okay. All right, so I think what we do here is we just Boseiju and then we can start loaming. We have the mana to do that. They're hellbent. Yeah, I'm just going to do this. No, wait, we don't have the actual loam in our hand is the problem. So we hit that. Then next turn we can loam, and we can start. What do we get with loam to keep ourselves from dying to these constructs? They may have Shadow Spear. They could have a lot of things. We can keep getting Wasteland, which does help if they go get. Yeah, we'll just have to see what they get. We're not in danger of dying immediately, but we are in danger. Make no. I think the simplest thing to do is just chill here. Yeah, if they get Shadow Spear, it's actually pretty bad because they're gonna have 5 artifacts. So these are 5/5s. If they're the heads up play is to stop Boseiju as well. Like to go get a Pithing Needle for Boseiju. But I think they're probably just going to layer on more aggression. But they lose this land, and they don't have a Loam active. Surely they create a construct here. I think we're likely going to lose this game. It seems incredible, inconceivable that we're losing this game. But I don't think that the crop rotation was like the biggest punt because they didn't use the mana anyway. But are wasting any crop rotation. But yeah, I'm just going to let this happen. I don't want to give them information. Okay, Lava Spur Boots. We can cope with... Oh, there's Dark Depths, our friend. Yeah, so we're like in pretty big trouble here. So if we loam, do unlock some stuff. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just take it. It's 11. They don't have Trample. Get this out of play. They don't have the mana to redeploy it. No, wait, it's not being balanced. It's just being straight up. They can go get a land with a basic type. Okay, they get a forest. Now we're going to loam. We're still not long for this world. We need to flip an Uro stat. We did flip an Uro. Okay, that's great. So I think what we do here, we start by loaming. Actually, we may need this blue for the Ottawara. Let's see. So we loam. We have the Mox come down, and we have 1, 2. I don't think we have enough to Ottawara this turn. I'm just gonna go ahead and tap the Mox. I can get Mox off, mana off the other Mox. So the cards we're gonna get here are Wasteland. I think that's necessary for survival. We do have Wasteland in our yard, and then I'll just get a Bayou and okay. And now we can go ahead and Mox. Let's discard this Bayou. I'm gonna play Wasteland as my land for turn. We don't have Ottawara mana up. We're gonna have to take some damage, but then our goal is to get Uro out, and Uro will be bigger than these. And Uro can come down next turn. So if they naturally draw like a stage, I can waste it. I can waste when they try to copy. And they can take a multi-turn line, but I can just go for this. So we don't have to worry about Dark Depths victory. They have crop rotation. They can go for it. But again, Wasteland. Life from Loam is horrifying. I think that's game. Yeah, we're not going to stop that, unfortunately. So Life from Loam is pretty important to what they're doing. Force of Vigor, I think, is extremely powerful. I think the Thoughtseize come out, even though we're on the play. I just don't think it's certainly the temptation to play Life from the Loam or Leyline of the Void because it shuts off their Life from the Loam. Orcish Bowmasters is horrific in this matchup. I think we swapped those for Barrows. I say horrific because they're playing Tabernacle and like Smallpox is pretty bad too, frankly, because they're never going to have creatures generally. I don't know. They could have creatures. But like making them discard, I don't think it's where we want to be. So I do think we have Leyline of the Void. How are we winning? Baragorf and Uro. So we did take out a lot of what makes our deck special and what makes our deck good. However, Besage is quite good. I'm going to keep. So we should be able to ramp pretty quickly with Uro. If they open with Leyline of the Void, which I would presume is in their deck right now, then we do have Besage. Land pass. Is there any merit to moxing here? Actually, I think there is, just in case we need to do something. Like with, I'd much rather just surveil though. But like in some sort of, I'm trying to think of what an emergency would be. Their own Mox. Discarding Tabernacle. Are they going to get to live the dream here? I'm not going to interact with that. Okay, I'm going to surveil. Go and grab Sewers. We almost all never want to do that. An above average draw for sure. I'm going to keep it. Okay, this is fine. They could probably name Uro since I grabbed blue. Smallpox. Okay, that's great. What does that tell me about what's in their hand? Okay, so I could Rumble and then I could also Uro. I think that's the answer. Bayou. Wait, can we do that? No, we can't because we already played our land. Yeah, I'm just going to play the Uro. They're definitely heavily incentivized to Bajuka Bog here. There's a Loam. That's pretty freaking solid. We can surveil again. Yeah, I'm liking where we are. Boseiju is cheaper when you have Uro out too. Boseiju is just a freaking cracked card. Definitely the second best utility card ever printed by. I mean, maybe Urza Saga if you. Okay, they're looking pretty rolled up over there with infinite constructs if they want them. Let's go ahead and surveil. And if we surveil basically anything in the yard, then we have Uro next turn, which seems good. And then we have Uro. Gosh, that's so because we can hit Mox and Urza Saga. Oh, I definitely want this. I think we'd be. I'm gonna keep it. Okay, so we draw it, and then I think we start with a Rumble. We wait on Uro here. Very macabre. That's fine. That's actually another one in our yard right now. Okay, I knew that was like another one. No, that's the same one I was just looking at. Oh, actually, I don't want. I want this Uro in my yard. As crazy as that sounds, I think I'm gonna put the Leyline in my hand. Yeah, I know it's weird. Yeah, but I think it's fine. I mean, we could just cast it, and then that does stop a lot of what they're going to be doing. But that does involve us playing out the Boseiju. The other thing we could do is just get a bunch of lands back. I think that's fine. Since we have... There are so many freaking options. It's crazy. I think it is correct to Loam here. 3 cards. I mean, casting Ancestral Recall. Landcestral Recall, as I like to call it. Seems like... Are they going to crop rot right now? They are. Interesting. So we're not going to make a land drop this turn, unfortunately. There goes our graveyard. That's a lot of goodness gone. They didn't make his construct. All right. I could just play with the Seiju. I think it's right to just hold it. Yeah, it sucks that we didn't make a land drop this turn. This is going to go away. They did give up their stage for that. We'll see if they make a dude here. Yeah, they do. So Force of Vigor can hit the dude and the Mox. And then they don't have a lot going on over there. I don't care about this Disruptor Flute, but it does buff Constructs. Okay, they're making a second Mox. Now I might just hit both the Mox in. Just to mess with their mana. Okay, Elvish Reclaimer is a good card for sure. Wasteland. Are they going to waste us? Wasting us is impactful. This Elvish Reclaimer is scary. Because it's a path to this Loam. Okay, so we can get a Wasteland back. Doesn't really solve our problem. We have a second Loam, so we could just Force of Will and then... Or we could Force of Vigor during their upkeep. They have 0 cards in hand. They could activate Elvish Reclaimer using the mana. We play Leyline out. I mean, I'm tempted to just play Leyline out and then Force of Vigor, and then we have our own Loam next turn. I think I'm going to do that. Black, colorless, Leyline. Now we go to their upkeep. So again, I expect them to use Elvish Reclaimer. I'm not sure what they're going to get here. It's also worth noting that if they do find Life from the Loam, they do have stuff in there. This Leyline just shuts off future. The simplest thing for them to do would probably be to, if they have Flagstones, to do that and try to ramp back up. But most of these decks don't play Flagstones. So they are going to be crimped on mana for a few turns. There's another Urza Saga, that's fine. But they don't have the mana to use it currently. Okay, so it immediately goes to 2. So they're going to be able to use this to go search for something, but it is going to go away. They come in for 2, that's fine. Man, this is a really clock-intensive matchup. Dark Depths, okay. All right, that was the draw for turn. So they can, if they get the mana, yeah, I'm going to Loam. I do have Wasteland here, so I can just... oh, I have Uro too. Do I want to Uro? Oh, man. So let's think about this. I don't have... Oh, green, blue. Yeah, actually. So I Loam, I sack this. Then I play this, and then I can bring back Uro. I think that works. So I get Wasteland. And I need to get this Urza Saga. Or this blue land. Let's see. Then we'll have 1, 2, 3. So we have we have a total of 7 cards in the graveyard. We need 6 of them. So I want to leave the Loam and take everything else. Which means I can't even leave the Loam. I can get back the Urza Saga. Then I use that to bring back Uro. I don't think that's correct. I think that'd be a mistake. So what I think I'm going to do here is if I go after this Urza Saga, they don't get a search. This doesn't do anything by itself. They don't have the mana to use this. So yeah, I think I just take my time. And then I'll use Uro later. So let's go ahead and grab these wastes while we can. We will go ahead and waste. We could waste this and this goes away. Yeah, I'm going to do that just in case they... I just don't want to risk them finding an answer. Okay, and now we pass. They do have pressure on the table, but I think Uro's going to be able to take over. I'm more worried about the clock than anything right now for this game. Game 3 is anybody's guess as to what's going to happen. Okay, so they have 1 floating. This dies. They go get probably a Mox if they have... They could get the map, Expedition map. We've already worked through their Bojuka Bog. Lava Spur Boots, okay. They can equip... They're not going to turbo... They're not going to tempo us out. That's not going to happen. So we don't have to worry. If that's the best they have, then we're fine. Because Uro's just going to completely take over this game. Okay, so I'll Loam first. Okay, now I'm just going to play this out, and we're going to go blue, green, Uro. We will exile all the stuff that we can't use. Uro comes out. Play a land. And we will pass. They're going to need a miraculous series of top 6. I'm just going to F6 through their turn. Okay. So I am going to just attack. If they want to double block, they can. Okay, so now I'm just going to blow up a bunch of stuff. And this will make it even more awkward for them. Yeah, I mean, technically I could have done that after they double blocked. I'm just trying to get this game over as quickly as possible because I know the next game is going to be a long one too. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use this. I've got plenty of life. I just want to get this going. Here, Loam these back up. play this out. Discard this. The Wasteland for turn. F6. I don't think there's anything they can draw here. They're choosing to attack. I don't think it's even worth doing that. I'm just going to keep attacking. Cancel every single time. All right, we'll play that out. Barrowgoyf does increase the clock by a turn, so I think it's worth playing out. They're very dead, but they are very ahead on clock, so I totally understand their decision to do this stuff instead. I could have wasted there if I weren't F6'd. Again, if I felt like I was in any real danger, I wouldn't be playing like this. Okay, they go get... They're going to try to... Yeah, they just go... Okay. All right, well, Leyline was pretty good there. I'm not sure exactly what it did, but I presume it did stuff. Taking Smallpox out, proved prescient. Fine. I mean, Disruptor Flute is unambiguously useful against their deck. They've got lots of stuff that we can hit with it. This card, I'm always kind of on the fence about it because it's like, it could do nothing. Like, if they already have an elf on the table, it's quite good. I think we take out a Lily. All right, let's hope to get a Leyline opener. That would be strong. We did. Oh, yeah, this is great. Snap keep this. I think Leyline is so strong against these types of decks. Granted, they have lots of answers to it. I wouldn't be surprised if they were playing lots of Force of Vigors like we are. They mold a 5. Okay, let's put our Leyline in. Hopefully they mold to like the dream hand of like Mox, you know. Yeah, if they kept a Mox, then that's card disadvantage for them. This card is just like one of the most powerful cards ever printed, frankly. Yeah, that's fine. It just does so much. Like this, just like Force of Will, Leyline of the Void it's kind of like if you don't have blue in your deck, like this is the second best thing. Okay, so I think here we just surveil and pass. They did correctly name Wasteland here. They may have a turbo thing, and we'll have to hope that they main phase it so we can get it with Lily. Exploration comes out. This is not scary at all. Exploration isn't even a good card, and it's not a good card at all when you have Loam shut off. So we're gonna get our Mortuary here. Rumble is an above average card. I think we want it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it because it fills up the yard for Uro. There's really nothing bad about it. I'll just go ahead and fetch now. I can hide the Wasteland, or I can pitch it to a Mox if we find a Mox off this. I am afraid, like, really of, like, crop rotation into Merit Lage. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I'll take this Bayou. Next turn, we don't have... yeah, we don't have our own next turn. Yeah, we just have to hope that they don't have fast Merit Lage. I think if they don't have fast Merit Lage, we're extremely favored. If they have fast Merit Lage, there's nothing we can do. Okay, Thespian stage number 2, that's good. Let's see, crop rotate. Yeah, they wouldn't have the mana currently to be able to crop rotate into it end step. Yeah, you're going to pitch your hand for life from the Loam. Oh, yeah, that's totally fine. Nuke my graveyard. That is total desperation. I think we got this game. No, I mean, and I understand. I'm not saying it's wrong what my opponent is doing, but like it's extremely good for us. So I think we just barrow here. I mean, we could just Uro multiple times. I think that's fine. So Uro here, then we get to put our land in. We get further toward our game plan. That's our other Surveil land represented now. This dies. Next turn we can barrow. We're not too far from bringing Uro back. Just going to copy my Bayou. That's fine. I'm a little worried about clock, but Bojuka Bog, that's fine. These Barrowgoyfs are going to gradually kill. It'll just take a few turns. The scariest thing that our opponent could do is put like a Tabernacle out because it just triggers so many times. And some server lag, not when I want it. Come on, deck. Or come on, MTGO. Yeah, we definitely don't want that Wasteland to shut off. Force of Vigor. We can just hit the needle and then we can waste something. I think it's better to be proactive here. I'm just going to double Barrowgoyf. Next turn we can like Liliana if we want to, and that'll hit for more damage. They're drawing one card a turn. Tabernacle, see, this is what I was telling you. Oh my goodness, this card is so good against us. All right, so let's go ahead and pay. Okay, let's pay. So we got 3 minutes. We'll be all right. I'm just going to go ahead and play Lily out and use her to discard this enchantment. So now we're hitting for 4. Let's come in. We're getting out of Merit Lage range. Like, their only prayer is the clock, basically, at this point. Well, I mean, yeah, we would survive. Do this twice. Okay, I'd like to do this again. These are going to get bigger for subsequent turns. Okay. F6, there's a turn to save clock. Copy stuff if they want to buy up time. It does nothing. I mean, it does. Like, they're advancing their game plan. They're not just wasting clock. I want to be clear. I'm not accusing my opponent of just wasting clock there. It probably doesn't do anything, but it is like a game event that like moves the game forward. All right. So let's pay here. Yes. Okay, we'll pay for this one too. Yes. We still have barrow number 3. I guess we just come in for a hug first. I could have discarded this, actually. I probably should have, just to do more damage faster. Yeah, I should have probably just gone ahead and gone after their artifacts here, or their enchantments. Okay, so these get bigger. Yeah, I think I'll just leave Lili where she is. We'll pass. I'll just wait till the end step to force a vigor. There's no reason to do it right now. If they have crop rotate, they can get a giant Merit Lage, but I can't actually force them to sacrifice it. Yeah, the crop rotation into Merit Lage would be a pain for sure. That was happening. Yeah, that's annoying. That's very annoying. Oh, Mazavith. Yeah, they're just trying to turtle up. That's fine too. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the Pithing Needle here. Okay, they scoop. GG's. Yeah, what I was going to do is I was going to hit the Pithing Needle, and then I would be able to waste the Mazavith so I could hit them. Let's see, would enchantment actually... No, it wouldn't have made it lethal. We would have still been attacking for a turn or two. Actually, I could have like forced myself to discard the Barragoyf, and that would have been big enough. Yeah, so that was an exciting game. We beat lands. Outground the grindiest of decks. See you in round 2. All right, round 2. We're up against another fair gamer. Love it. I love it because they're fun. Not because it's necessarily a better matchup than combo, but it probably is a better matchup than... All right. Simplest thing to do, I think, is just not get dazed on our Mox. Yeah, I don't want the Mox to get dazed. I'm just going to go ahead and Bayou, Mox, Rumble. We'll pitch this Underground Mortuary. We're not revealing our true colors at this point, but there's a high likelihood that this Malevolent Rumble shows the URO. This card is so good. I love it. Well, I think we go ahead and grab the waste here. So we've got lots of lands in our graveyard if we can find a Loam. I can definitely Rumble again next turn and potentially find one. They're fetching. Trop. Brainstorm. Okay. This might be Beans. I think Beans is a good matchup for this. But that doesn't mean they could have Daze. If they had Daze, like, I probably would Daze the Rumble. So they may not have Daze, and I might be able to double spell next turn with Smallpox. Oh, I am so freaking Smallpoxing next turn. I am a little worried that they have yet another Brainstorm. But if they don't, it's so good for us. Okay, and we even have a great card that we can put in our yard here. So I can float the mana here just in case they do have a Daze. And then I can go black, black, Smallpox. Let's both... Well, wait a second. Yeah. I think I waste. I think I just keep it simple. We're going to waste here. Now they're probably thinking, okay, Smallpox would be a natural play after you sack your creature to clear the path. We're not going to do anything with that mana. We were going to lose that creature anyway. They flipped Tommy. It sucks for us. We'll have to cope. Okay, they're going to flip her. Yeah, I mean, we're weak to that, frankly. Like, we have to find Witherbloom now. It's really our only answer. But they don't have any lands. If we find a Bowmaster before they do, then they'll have to clear the Bowmaster. I mean, technically, beating them down with Uro is a viable strategy. We're a turn off from bringing Uro back. They discard Life from Loam. No! Yeah, that's really bad for us if they find more land. Yeah, if they have enough lands, they can just Loam their way back. They do dredge the Loam, so that means they probably have the mana to use it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Getting outplayed. I mean, frankly, it was lucky for them to have two Brainstorms in the top, 13 cards of their deck. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go ahead and Rumble. Unfortunately, Rumble cannot find a Witherbloom for us. But, what could it find? I can't really find it. I think we're pretty screwed. Oh, Mox Diamond is actually pretty good. Yeah, both our Witherblooms going into the graveyard. Maybe our opponent's afraid that we have another one. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and play this out. Next turn, we have Uro coming back. That can't be dazed with thanks to this token. So, yeah, Uro comes in. We do get to hit Tommy before she can do stuff. We just have to see if they find a land. They did find a land. It's an ETB tap land. That's good for us. They kept. So they may have kept a plow for our Uro. If they did, they're probably going to win. Uro has to come back here. We'll go get Underground Sea. No, I'll just get it. Well, yeah, just in case they go for my green, blue, green, or blue, green. All right. Uro comes back. They do force. Okay, so I think they've won at this point. I think the only thing that stops us from losing is finding a Bowmaster. They are down to 2 cards, but they have Life from the Loam, so they can rebuild their... They can... Oh, Triumph. It's not that big of a deal. Like this time, Talmio is what I'm worried about. They do plus. Plains, yeah, they have a lot going on over there. We get Thoughtseize just to get information, but the game's over. Actually, I already knew that. There was no new information to be gained. All right. Completely destroyed. But, you know, if I'm going to be destroyed, I want it to be destroyed by a Bant control deck. It's like precisely the kind of decks that I like to play. Yeah, I don't know that we sideboard anything here. The fact that they have a single Life from the Loam in the deck, I can't let that change my entire game plan. I think I'm just going to jump right back in. All right, let's dance. I guess Disruptor Flute is something I could have brought in there, but I don't know. We've got lots of answers to her in our deck. Oh, this is a Loam hand with Pox, a double Loam. I'm gonna keep this for sure. I like the Orcish Bowmasters a lot. They didn't see it last game, so I'll just Surveil, and then we can Loam, do the slow Loam path. And so we're gonna open Verdant Catacombs, and I'll just Surveil end step. Get my green. They go Strand Pass. Surveil says Uro. Perfect. All right, and now when we rumble, we're putting cards in the graveyard for Uro. Another Bowmaster. That's lucky. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this first. This will increase the volume of our Loam next turn. All right. I think we just take the Bowmaster here. We've got 3 Bowmasters in our grip. Like, it's going to be embarrassing if we lose this game. Next turn, we have Loam into land drop. I think that's probably like the disciplined play that we need to make. They've been a brainstorm because we have the face-up Bowmasters. I mean, I would probably still keep it, but like I don't know what's in their hand. Carpet is fine. It doesing actually do a whole lot against our deck. I'll never get another island, so it's basically just like a kind of like a 1-mana Mox. Okay, they're surgicaling our Uro, and they get to see the 3 Bowmasters in our hand. They paid 2 life to do that. Or no, wait, they used black mana off the carpet. So our only win con in the deck now is the Bowmasters. No, if they surgical that somehow, then the game's over. And that is just... They are correct bringing in surgical in right now. I don't think surgical is currently a playable card, but people are playing it. It does not stop Oops All Spells is the main problem. But it is very good against Loam strategies and Uro strategies. So it lines up very well against our deck. We're going to go to our turn. We get a card for the turn. It is a Smallpox. I'm going to just Loam. I could Loam and Smallpox. And then sack my... Yeah, I could sack my blue source. I don't need it anymore. It doesn't do anything in the deck anymore. And that denies them land off carpet. I think that's actually the correct play here. I do need green off this. Green, colorless, Loam. They're brainstorming in response. Okay. Trying to find the other surgical maybe? Because this would be an opportunity to hit both with surgical. Okay, we get it. All right. Let's go ahead and just get a Bayou. Black. I will discard this Life from the Loam. It's a liability to have it in my hand when my opponent has... yeah, I mean, because if they have surgical as their interaction, then yeah, you don't want to have redundant cards in your hand. So what we're basically going to do is we're going to sack this land, and then we're going to hope that they don't have the mana to execute their game plan while we just hit them over the head repeatedly with Bowmasters. If they struggle on land drop, it might make sense to Smallpox again, because they're ahead 3 minutes. So this Carpet is going to annoyingly target us every turn and eat up their clock. That is fine. They're getting that brainstorm out of that way. If they're brainstorm locked, I do think we probably just go ahead and go for the smallpox. They do have the land. And if they deny it, then it triggers a second time. Okay. I am going to loam. Okay. And now I think what I want to do is probably... Do I want to just smallpox again? And I can just discard this... Well, I'm gonna loam first. See if I loam... I've already used my black-green surveil, so I would have to get a blue one, which would trigger that. I don't want to do that. I think I'm just going to loam and get a bunch of land back. And now I'll have lots of cards to discard in subsequent turns. We have 7 cards in hand. We can pass. I'm just going to be very slow and careful because this game is mine to lose, really. Okay, Wasteland is fine. Do I want to loam again? There's not actually really any benefit to it. Like, I guess I could expose like a Wasteland. Yeah, I guess that's a reason. Okay, I don't expose a Wasteland. So what I think I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and play this out, and I'm just going to cast my Smallpox and hope they don't force it, because actually I just... I shouldn't have played that land out. That was good. So let's discard this life from the Loam, and I will sacrifice the Underground Sea here, and I will just pass. And then I have Instep Bowmasters. Again, I am worried that they'll Surgical Bowmasters, but they don't know that I have 3 of them. Maybe they wouldn't think to do that. Okay, what does this dress down mean? I think I'm just going to use my mana efficiently and go ahead and Bowmaster now. Just so I get the second dude. They're down to 1 card. They could just be doing this to desperately dig for land. They could daze this, potentially. Okay, and I've lost about a minute to server lag, so hopefully that's not an issue for the rest of the league. I've had a really good day in terms of lag, and I do think it may be on my end. I'm behind the Great Firewall in China, visiting family right now before I head over to Japan. So, okay, they scoop. That's great. I think Disruptor Flute could come in here. I think Baragoyf might actually be good, just like a single Baragoyf as a backup win con. I think Lili's probably extremely good in this matchup if we can get her out. I guess I could cut a Uro, knowing that they're playing Surgical. Disruptor Flute, it is one of those cards. Like, they're probably playing Prismatic Ending, but this could save us from a Tamio Ultimate if I'm afraid of that. That's what did us in Game 1. I could cut a Loam knowing they're playing Surgical too. That seems like, I mean, that's like the most important card in my deck, but yeah, I'm going to do it. This is a non-workable hand, frankly. Yeah, it pains me to throw it back, but this is why you play so many lands with your Moxen. I'm going to put back I'll put back one of these lands. And then what I'll do is I'll hope to Thoughtseize and find something important that we can snatch out of their hand. Ponder. That's a cool looking island, by the way. That is sweet looking. You just want to have like a dance party there. Monk is playing at my house. Okay, we drew a land, which is reassuring since we... so I'm not going to proactively fetch blue ever because they have Carpet. They may not have Carpet in. Like, I think Carpet is a mistake, but you may want it anyway just because I'm going after your lands. They have Loam. Narset doesn't really affect our deck at all. We could just lock it out. I think I'm going to take the Brainstorm because it changes the texture of the hand. If I name Loam, it shuts off my Loam as well. They could fetch and then Loam to get it back. We did take away the perfect Brainstorm, though. Oh, yeah, if they fetch, then I waste them off that, but they'll have it back by that time. I feel like naming Disruptor Flute and Mystic Sanctuary is such a spew in terms of like value and stuff. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and proactively Flute. We could wait till they fetch and then Flute. Yeah, I think that's correct. We wait until they fetch. Well, yeah, they won't be able to play out the Sanctuary, so I think what they're going to do is probably fetch, and then they're going to Loam the land back. I'm not naming Loam in my Loam deck. I think that's terrible play. I realize that maybe they're the only one with the Loam currently, and I don't have Loam going on, but it just feels so wrong to do that. So if they fetch... Yeah, I mean, I should probably just go ahead and Flute. Name Narset. Oh, Triumph? So I can actually just strand this in their hand, right? Even though you're paying the Miracle cost, I believe this does stop. Okay, so they shouldn't be able to name it, I don't believe. So we did just give them information. I guess I should have let that resolve, and then with this ability on the stack done it. Now they can get the green instead of white. Yeah, so that was an unnecessary spew. Okay, so I don't believe they can cast this. Okay, so they're fetching. Again, they're going to Narset here. Just dig. That sucks for me because that makes my Uro not good. Oh, wait, they're doing this instead. That's good. So Uro can get in. We don't have anything going on, though, is the thing. Like, next turn, they do have Mystic Sanctuary, but it doesn't really do a lot. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm just going to Uro here. See what we draw. Probably just land. Another Uro. That's really bad, actually, because that means now we're vulnerable. I think we do waste them here. They don't have a wasteland that they've got heads up, like face up. The issue is if we don't waste them, then there is a risk. We can just keep wasting them off their green sources if we get the ability to do so. Now they're probably going to tap out for Narset. Narset stuffs the Uro draw trigger, unfortunately. We are keeping them away from profitably deploying this Mystic Sanctuary, but they do have 2 fetches in their hand, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, we have perfect information in their hand, I believe. Okay, they got their Loam back. They milled a Prismatic Ending, so they would have potentially used that to get rid of this. They're Loaming, so I think the Wasteland plan is completely off. But we do have a window where we can bring back Uro and get a card for it. That's a good draw. I think I'm going to go ahead and play it. Just in case they have days. I don't think they have days, but that would be... we could Surveil to manipulate what we draw. We might be able to rip a Thoughtseize. I'm just going to bring Uro back. Green, green, blue, Uro. 1, 2, 5. And if they have like a bounce effect or a removal effect or anything, really, like I could Surveil here, but I'm just going to not and be punished. So we have Surveil at the end of their turn. I'll just go for that and we'll pass. I think there's an extremely high likelihood that Uro gets, because what they can do is they can Narset and then they can use that to dig for. And we're pretty far away from being able to. Man, this server lag is crazy. I've got 9 minutes on the clock, but okay, Narset's in. She's gonna minus. I can't imagine they don't find a plow. They found Dress Down. Okay, they have the land for turn. They haven't shown a plow yet, so we are going to be able to kill Narset, which is important. No. Let's go ahead and attack Narset. I accidentally, yeah, we have to kill Narset. So we get the trigger. It doesn't do anything, unfortunately, while she's on the... we're not going to put a land in. Yeah, I clicked the wrong thing. I meant to Surveil in their end step, and I accidentally said yield until my end step. Huge punt. Okay, now we have Bowmaster, which is very good. I think we just go ahead and draw through this. Green, green, blue. Now that we can draw... If I draw a land, I'll happily put this Mox into play. I do want to keep this one that has been escaped. Okay, land. I mean, this represents 2 surveillance. I think we just chill here. Now we have Bowmaster up. It's just a matter of time before they figure out a way to get out from under this, though. They have so many answers to Uro in their deck. My hope is that they get desperate and they brainstorm, and then we can punish that with Orcish Bowmaster. Mystic Sanctuary, I believe, is still locked in their hand. Hedge Maze. They're doing this during their upkeep, which is... They're trying to find a Triumph, I guess. No, wait, they can't cast Triumph. They're trying to just figure out whether they need to use Loam this turn, maybe. If they keep, then I'll know they found an answer for Uro, sadly. This Brainstorm. 3 mana in the pool. Teferi. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and play out my Bowmaster now. I guess I'll just get another Bayou, just out of respect for the fact that they potentially find Carpet. Carpet will overpower this Disruptor Flute eventually. Okay, they forced there. Pitching Dress Down. Okay, so Teferi is very good here. It's going to bounce Uro back to my hand. Mystic Sanctuary. They're going to put Brainstorm on top. Okay. Really need to find another Bowmaster off the top here. Another Bowmaster would be just absolutely huge. Uro is a few turns away from arriving. I'm going to go get the blue land just so they don't screw me off blue. Because that would be a way that I could not cast Uro. Bowmaster, please. Lili. Is she any good? I could Bowmaster... let's see. I could Yeah, I could Lili and Uro. I think it's worth it. We got nothing else going on. That's fine. They're getting the super suboptimal end of their turn brainstorm. So they don't get the information from my turn, and they don't have a way to shuffle. But they can loam. So what we're going to do here, we're going to start by Uroing. Blue, green, colorless, Uro. Okay, we'll draw a card. It is a Bowmaster. I'm going to be putting that Bowmaster into play to kill that Teferi right now. I will not wait. Pretty massive. Okay. And next turn, we still have Lili as a threat. Lili could come out. If we find a land, then we could Lili and Uro next turn. Or if they kill our Bowmaster. It's another card they can't cast. No, wait. They can. They can. They can pay the extra mana. All right, it's out. It's out. I'm going to Lili it next turn. But Strand. Okay. So we don't have perfect information about their hand anymore, to my knowledge. I can be pretty confident that the cards they have. I think we need this Lili to resolve. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize first. Please don't plow my Bowmaster. Oh no, they're going to plow my Bowmaster. What? Okay, well yeah, thanks. I'm going to take your plow. I think they accidentally passed priority. I don't think they meant to do that. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and play Lili out. Sacrifice a creature, please. Their trigger goes in the stack. I'll just attack them for 2. They can get Catherine back. It'll probably take a few turns. And when they do, it's going to cost them 5 full mana. Next turn, we have Uro coming back. They have Prismatic Ending for our creature and then 2 lands. So they could Prismatic End Bowmaster. But then we have Uro coming back. Okay, I think they're just going to save it for Uro. They have some... Why wouldn't you Prismatic in there? Loam. Pretty good. We can Loam and play a card. Yeah, I'm going to Loam. These 2 lands back. Okay, and now I'm going to Mox. I'll discard. Then I'll play my land. Then I'll plus Lili. Then I'll go fetch my last Underground Sea. Actually, I don't need to fetch that. I can fetch with Bayou because I've got the Moxes. Then I'll bring back Uro. Green. Green. Blue. Blue. They can exile Uro if they would like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're exiling everything but the Loam itself. Uro comes in, we draw. I'm not going to replace that. I probably could. Rumble is fine. I'll just Rumble now. I'm worried about my clock. Maybe if I'm worried about my clock, I shouldn't be rumbling. I will take a backup Lili. Keep that to minus to kill something. Then we'll just attack. Yeah, we don't have a lot of time. I'm just going to F6 through my opponent's turn for time's sake. Nothing to be done here. I think that they probably have to kill my Bowmaster. Or they probably kill my Uro. Land for turn. Okay, so they may have a Misty. I'm not going to draw. I'll just draw. Mox, not what we're looking for. Let's go ahead for a hug. I should have Lili'd first. Hopefully this doesn't cost me the game. They do have Loam, so they can start doing that next turn. I'm just going to discard my Mox. All right, and we'll pass, and we'll just hope that they rip cantrips and stuff. They get their Triumph back. We can just kill it. They need an answer to our Bowmaster probably. 2 minutes on the clock. I'm really worried about clock. Is Lorien revealed? You're welcome to do that. So we will be pinging you for the max damage here. See what you drew. If you drew like a plow or something like that, or plow plus prismatic, you can get back into this. Brainstorm, sure. And now they're low on mana, but they could dig their way out of this. Oh, wow. That was exciting. That was very exciting. So we're 2-0. Just for perspective, again, I said I got like a 4-1 with this list, and I got a 3-2 with it. And the games were not nearly this long. These have been some incredibly grindy games. Previously, it was just like there was one game where I went like Mox Diamond, like I think I had like turn 2 Uro. It was like completely degenerate. I think I loamed after moxing and fetching. I got my 3 cards back. It was just crazy. It was a chef's kiss. And I'm hoping to get to do that, but we'll take these grinding wins too. See you in the next round. So at this point, I had some network issues, and they prevented me from being able to complete the league properly. So I went ahead and recorded another league with the exact same 75. Let's jump into that. Round 1, we're up against a likely aggro gamer. We're on the draw, which actually is good because we've got Smallpox and Mox Diamond. I'm going to keep this. They play something that can be Bowmaster Ping Die. We'll just Bowmaster Ping it. Marsh Flats, fetch. Plains. Ocelot Pride. Well, I'm going to be Bowmaster Pinging that. All right, so my instinct is this could be like mono white. Maybe this Wasteland is helpful, maybe it's not. I think Otawara is probably the weakest card in our hand right now. So I'll just pitch that. Now we'll go get a Bayou. And we can still Smallpox to big impact next turn, but I want to make sure that Bowmasters gets his value. This also gives us the option of Lilying next turn if they don't play something, or they play just one creature. My dream would be they play a non-basic land and a creature, and then we Smallpox. There we go. Come on, play that creature. Play that creature. No, they've got their own Bowmaster. All right, well, I think what we do here... Oh, our own Bowmaster number 2. I think we waste here, and then we wait for them to ping, which I think is likely. Okay, we're going to go to combat here. Here comes the Bowmaster. All is telegraphed. So now what we have to do, they're going to ping ours. The simple thing to do is just to Bowmaster the Bowmaster. We might be able to get some value off of it. They have none to block, so I can just get a little extra damage here. All right. So it had to be Bowmasters, really. That was the creature that kind of wrecked our game plan. Let's see if they get a swamp here. They do. This is a very tasty swamp, too. Love this swamp art. Okay, that is really bad for us, actually. We can Lily and just hang back. But I don't know that Smallpox is where we want to be. Rumble might be good. Let's think about this. So we get a dude, and then we can Smallpox off the Rumble. That would be the subsequent turn. One option is just a Lily, and we both discard. I think I want to Rumble. Okay, Witherbloom would have been insane here. Unfortunately, it is not a card we can pick up with Rumble. I think I just play this out. I think I do want to keep the pressure on him. Now we can sack this Eldrazi spawn instead. Actually, I probably should have hung back, traded off with the Orc Army token. That way I could kill this. But, I mean, material's material. Doesn't really matter. Because we're not going to get... Like, unless we get Uro going, exactly. Bowmaster's not going to hurt us. I would actually be happy if they played Wasteland here. Well, this kind of sucks for us. Because they're going to be able to get a Planeswalker here, potentially. If we were to cast Smallpox. Okay, so I'm going to Surveil. I'm looking really for, like... I'm not actually sure what in my deck is particularly strong right now. I think probably Bowmasters is the strongest thing. Just because it clears the other Bowmasters and buffs my dude further. And then maybe we can pressure successfully. Top card is a Bayou, which I will bin. We still don't have Life from Loam. Rumble. Options. One, we could Lily, and we could just start to get him to discard. I don't think that's very good, because then they can just come in for damage. Also, they can start doing this Ajani Caracas loop next turn. I think I want to see if I can find like an Uro off this Rumble. Yeah, or 3. That's fine. So I'll be taking this Bayou, I guess. Now our option is we could go ahead and just Lily here. So Smallpox just immediately gives us a flipped Ajani. They do have Caracas here, so we need to clear that out. Yeah, man. Really need to find Life from the Loam here. Ajani can make a new dude every single turn cycle. We really need to kill this thing. Smallpox, they probably don't sack maybe they sack their Caracas. I think I should have kept one of the Uros just for a draw trigger and a ramp. Yeah, sadly, I have to discard the Smallpox here. But I think Smallpox is actively pretty terrible. And the reason I have to discard it is because I made a mistake like with my sequencing and I played the wrong land. I need to be able to fetch blue here. So I'll discard the Smallpox. Okay, they discard Sand Scout. I'm just going to chill, defend Lily for a turn cycle. I think there's a good chance that they attack in at Lili so I'll basically throw as much stuff as I can. I don't want to specifically kill the cat warrior though. Yeah, they're gonna bounce this. So they can get a new cat warrior next turn. They found another land, which at this point may not be that big of a deal. Like if I can clear that Caracas, we'll be in a really good position. I just need to find life from the Loam so I can waste the Caracas. I'll happily trade out this Orc Army token, and I'll let that through. They're fetching Scrubland, Stalactite Stalker. Right, so Lili's very much dead. We can minus to kill something on the way out, but that's it. Rumble needs to find us a Loam. Let's see. Actually, I think I actually have to sack this now, speculatively. So we go green, colorless. We can Rumble. Let's see. Mox Diamond helps. I think we've lost this one. I'm going to concede. I'm going to concede to save clock. The reason is, like, we can bring it back, but they can just Caracas it, and we're, like, some unknown amount of time away from them, and they've got a lot of pressure on the table. Lili's not going to do anything. I feel that game... Also, Bowmaster would have pinged us whenever we drew a card. So I'm going to dump my Tabernacles in for sure. I think those are good here. I do think Barrowwave could come in, but maybe not, actually. Maybe I think we stay off the Barrowwave strategy, because we have Tabernacle. If they have Leyland, we have 2 answers to it in our main deck in Otawaro and Beseju. I think Thoughtseize comes out against these aggro decks, which gives us 2 slots, so we could bring in 2 Barrows. Yeah, I like that substitution. Let's do it. Like, I always take out Thoughtseize against aggro decks. And so there are... we can kind of split it a little bit with the Barrow. Barrow's almost always a good card. Like, the card is just incredible. It's been incredibly impressive for me over the past really few months. I started to warm up to it. This is a pretty good hand. I'm going to keep this. So we could ramp out. We can't do anything the first turn. We'll just surveil. So earlier I said, I should have taken one of the Uros so I could loam through it, or so I could cast it and get a card. But I actually don't know that was correct because there was an Orcish Bowmaster. I think what I did was actually correct, even though, I didn't consciously acknowledge that there was a Bowmaster on the table at the time. Okay, Meyer, we're going to fetch, get our black-green, and then this turn we're going to Rumble for sure. They didn't give us a target for our Bowmaster. That is a redundant land. I do realize that they could waste us, but I'm not going to sweat it. Decent chance, decent chance that this reveals a Loam or an Uro. That's the reason these are in the deck, is to find Uros and Loams. Okay, so I think we just probably take the Mox here, because these other cards can be loaned back when we find a Loam later. I mean, we could technically just play this out now. Then we have Bowmaster up. I don't hate it. Barrow's already a 2-3, even though our opponent doesn't have anything in their yard. So my hope is I get to waste something. Yep, that'll be great. And start piling on the Barrows. And they could have tons of removal spells, and there's nothing we can really do about that. I'm going to try to test the removal with this Bowmaster, though. Unless they're obviously holding up a Bowmaster themselves. This is bad news. If they get a chance to flash this back, it's insanely powerful. They named Lili. Don't have it. Don't have a freaking 1-drop. My goodness, I'll be so sad if they get them. They just scoop. All right, great. That was a relief. Yeah, because they probably saw the Wasteland, and they're like, yeah, if I don't stop this Barrow. I think the current configuration with 2 Barrows is good. They may over-index on it because we had 2 of them, but we actually only have 2 in our deck. Let's do it. Therapy's so fun. I have I had an absolute blast playing one of the leagues I did recently with Therapy. I strongly recommend it. Yeah, I did the black-white, no reserve list tokens. Not exactly what my opponent's doing. I think they have some red in their deck. They may actually not have any red. They get red permanents off of that Nomad dude, which is, it buffs the Ajani. So I think if I do another league with that, I am going to put the that guy in there. So I may do another league with almost exactly what my opponent's playing, except with no reserve list cards. Today I'm doing like all reserve list cards with like my Tabernacles and my 7 revised dual lands and my Mox Diamonds. This deck that I'm playing today, if you were to build it in paper, it'd be well over $10,000, I think. All right, Tabby. I think we keep this. We hope they go wide. They mulled a 6. Thoughtseize. Probably recoiling. Aren't you the budget gamer? Why do you have Tabernacles? This card is incredibly rare. I mean, it is the most expensive card played regularly in Legacy. Okay, that's a great rip. So I'll just chill. So we can surveil and then probably just smallpox, depending on what they do. If they play a creature out, I'll definitely smallpox. They don't know about the smallpox, but whenever I can get a 2-for-1 with smallpox, I go for it usually. I can put the Tabernacle in the yard. Oslo Pride. Okay. And this Undercity Sewer is precisely the kind of thing you want to dump when you smallpox. Seiju, that can go in the yard. Again, we're like really looking for, like, lands always go in the yard, and you're looking for a loam. Break the game open. There it is. There it is. That is so perfect. So assuming our opponent doesn't have graveyard hate, I think we are very far ahead here. I mean, like, half of these cards are better off in our yard. I'm going to put this just in case they do have graveyard hate. I'd hate to, like, lose parity because of it. Actually, if they have a wasteland... No! I just screwed up really bad. Now I have to draw a land in order to be able to cast my Loam. That was a punt. That was absolutely a punt. Okay, and now we'll pass, and... Oh, my goodness. I mean, we can still we can still play a Tabernacle and do stuff. It's not that impressive. Okay, yeah. Into the known Tabernacle. Desperation. Well, that is quite good. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Discard the Tabby. Loam. Tabby. I mean, we're going to get blown out so hard if they have... So, I think the correct play is just to play the Tabernacle here. Because that prevents them from really doing anything for a while. If they have a wasteland, they can get rid of this, but they have to actually, like, pay... Okay, so they do get a dude, but they're not going to have the mana to pay for very many of them. And, like, they can wasteland this, but I can bring it right back. So it's like, this is just, like, how the game's going to go from now on. Yeah, I'll go ahead and Loam. As long as you're not at 7 cards, I think it's usually correct to go ahead and Loam. So the best thing we can do is... Oh, wait. Best thing we can do is find another smallpox, probably. I'll go ahead and grab that. I guess I could go ahead and just ramp. I am afraid they're going to hit our yard, but I do want to hit a smallpox so that we can take out that land. So both of our surveillance are in the yard. We don't have any more legal plays. And, of course, like, they have tons of time on their clock. We're in game 3. It's not a big deal, but this is a huge time sink. Like, it takes so much time to resolve the triggers every turn. Okay, so they gain 1 more life. Pretty far from the city's blessing, thankfully. They're about to get the Wasteland's blessing. They have a Marsh Flat. Okay. It's good for them. So they're going to be able to keep 1 or more of these around. I do think it makes sense to go ahead and just fetch the Thin here. Because, again, we're trying to find... Oh, wait. It can be an option to fetch. Okay, well, I'm going to bring back Uro here. Blue. Huh, wait a second. Yeah, I can't both bring back Uro and Loam. I have to do that after I bring back Uro. Uro's coming back. We'll get rid of... yeah, I'll just get rid of these types. Like, I'm going to keep the lands in there for the most part. This doesn't mean my barrow's going to be really small, but they may have barrows of their own. Bowmaster is quite good here. My instinct is, instead of loaming, I could just ping this after they paid for it. I think that's fine. Backstreet's back. That's going to get wasted. I think they should have gotten a swamp there if they have... Wait, there's swamps in their yard. Oh, there's swamps in their yard! Forgot about that. They may just not pay if they want to move the game forward, now that I got Uro out. They do need probably at least 1 white mana to plow Uro. We are getting the troll face. This is the first time I've ever had a Tabernacle in front of me, by the way. I'm feeling pretty powerful. They do pay for that. Okay. Another land. They fetch. So they can search for a desert. Let's see. Yeah, they're going to be able to get that desert. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to ping this now, though. I could, like, deny them the desert by just fetching and failing to find. I don't think that's correct, though. We are very low on fetchables. Okay, that comes in. I can just make my opponent sack it. They can use the ability of this desert. It's a pretty good desert. Like, it's got great art. I love that. Sorry, XL creature card. Created 4/4 black zombie. It's pretty good. All right, so let's think about this. Do I want to pay for these? I don't want to pay for... I will pay for the Bowmaster. Okay, small box. Freaking awesome. Okay, so I think we just start by boxing. We can loam first. Green, green. Life from the loam. Wasteland. I'll just grab Boseiju. I can start hitting their lands with Boseiju, which is not bad. I don't know how many planes they have in their deck. I guess we could see. I'm going to go ahead and hit this scrubland. They get a... Oh, I screwed up. I screwed up. I totally screwed that up. I needed to... Because they... Let's see. How does this work? Discards a card, sacrifice a creature, then sacrifice it. So, yeah. I do not want to put more cards in my graveyard, do I? Yeah, I do. I will play this out and go in the yard. So they may choose to block here, which is fine. They choose not to block. Interesting. I think I want to go ahead and just loam again. Wasteland. Wasteland. I'm not sure what can go wrong here. They're going to have to sacrifice or activate. Like, I don't know why they block. I think it was actually maybe a punt for me to attack with that, because then I would have had to sack when I... This Tabernacle is just soloing them. They can create a lot of warrior tokens, but they're not really that good if they can't stick around. Okay, and they just let that die. They pay for their scout. If they find a fetch, that generates a couple of blockers for a turn cycle. Plow is good. Yeah, that's what they have. That's fine. I'll just keep loaming until I find another one. I've got 3 more. Also, price fine. They don't gain life, so they don't get a token. We have double Wasteland and Boseiju. I think I don't pay for this because I'm going to smallpox them. I'll loam. Okay. Let's go ahead and waste. Get them off their colored sources. Did I just make the same mistake 2 turns in a row? I think I did. I think I did. Yeah, that's embarrassing. We can go ahead and hit this. See if they have another one. Oh, they can get anything with a basic type. I think I just screwed up. Because now they get black. Yeah, I think I just screwed up. So I'm just going to get this back out of the yard. Try not to embarrass myself too much here. Wasteland. Boseiju. Some other land. Then I'm going to discard to Lili here. Then I'm going to go black. 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 Lili. And we'll just make them discard. I will discard this Misty. Okay, they discarded this card. Whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into a graveyard, each opponent loses 1. Alright, I think Lili's going to take 3 damage here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to smallpox. I'll waste. I'll smallpox, then I'll waste. No, because then they'll just sack this plains. I think I need to do it first. But I will get rid of their lands. So it doesn't matter if they have a creature. Okay, they don't play a land. These are damage at Lili, I presume. They found another query. Okay, that may keep them alive for a turn cycle. And by alive, I mean... Right, so we're going to go ahead and start by wasting. They get a dude. How many of the scrublands have we worked through? I'm pretty sure they still have scrublands, and then it would be a mistake to hit this and just give them another scrubland. So I think what we do is we just plus here. Then I'm just going to loam again. And it may seem like I'm doing like literally nothing. I'm just sitting around. But my goal is to run them out of lands completely. And I'm making steady progress toward that goal. And Lili is distracting for a couple turns. So we'll just pass. They are not very close to victory at all. I'll just F6 through the turn. I know Lili is a goner. I'm just hoping that they don't find lands. And you may be asking, why play like this? Why play Magic the Gathering like this, where you're just hiding behind your Tabernacle and like cowardly sniping their lands and stuff? That's a legit question. I don't have a good answer for you. All I know is next turn I'm going to waste them, and then I'm going to smallpox them, and they're going to have 0 lands, and then they're going to quickly have 0 creatures after that. And even if they waste this, I'll just bring it right back. They have to hit my graveyard and waste me in a single turn cycle, which I don't believe they can do. So Lili dies here. It's fine. They have a cat token. I will loam yet again, seeing if I can find my Uro. No luck. I got 4 of them. Or I think I have 4 in there. Yeah, I didn't take one Uro out. They are surgicaling my Baragoyf. That is the wrong card to surgical, but that's fine. By this point, they should see the rest of my deck and see that they are completely screwed once they see that I have a smallpox in hand. They did take themselves all the way down to 9. I'm not sure how they did that, just through repeated fetching and thought seizing and stuff. So let's waste the quarry. They get a dude. Now we will smallpox. We'll discard this fetch. I will sack this land. I'm going to loam. And we're just going to keep doing what we're doing here. Wasteland. Wasteland. Just in case they like find another plow. I don't want them to be able to ever crawl out from under my tabernacle. They're going to be paying their membership dues to the tabernacle till the end of time. Not a very fun way to lose, but a fun way to win. All right, and I do have win cons. Unless you have more surgical, like I'll eventually just beat you down with a bowmaster or something like that. No luck. All right. I think at this point we just start surveilling, trying to. I'm gonna stop loaming. Just try to find my win con. We are lower in cards than them and lower in clock. We do have to ultimately win the game somehow. We know they're most likely out of basics because they would have fetched a basic instead of the scrub. So the fact that we have 2 different win cons in our deck, or 2 more win cons, means we will win if we don't just time out. Rumble should find us a win con. All right. I'll just take an Uro here. Blue, blue, green, green. Let's bring back Uro. And I'll just take out my bowmasters so they can't target those. 1, 2, 3. I'll go one more. Uro's in. We'll draw. I'll decline the... Just play a land and I'll pass. I have Beseiju up if I need it. I just need to hit them twice. And if this doesn't work, I do have one more bowmaster that can end the job. As long as I keep this out of the graveyard, or I put it in the graveyard where I can play it while retaining priority. Okay, they do have that. So I expect them to... what I can do is I can just force them to go ahead and use it right now. I've got so many wastelands. They will eventually run out of scrub lands. This way I don't have to worry about the Uro trigger if they are just going to plow them. That's fine. All right. Clock is going down. Okay, I'll just play Uro again. Blue, blue, green, green. Oh, wait, I can only do it once here. I think I've got all my lands out of my deck. Let's just check. Let's be quick. I may have like a Bayou left. I do. Okay, I've got almost nothing left. Let's go green, blue, colorless, Uro, cancel. I will not be putting anything in here. And now I can go, so he dies, and now I have priority, so I can just bring him right back before they can surgical. Blue, blue, green, green. Uro, 1. All right, if they can keep plowing, they may be able to get out from underneath him. 9 cards in hand. I'm going to discard these 2 fetches. Okay, this time they don't have anything to do, so I can just pay, and then I can attack. And I can also bowmaster ping them for the final damage here. That is a very trolly way to win, but that's what prison decks do. Tabernacle, too strong. $2,000 card, $3,000 card. I don't know. It's a lot. Good games. I do like your deck a lot. All right, let's go to the next round. Round 2, we're up against a likely blue-black reanimator player. I'm going to keep this. We don't really have like a strong game plan against them. Hopefully their deck... Our game plan is that their deck gets banned, but we do actually technically have to finish the league before that happens. I'm just going to play this out, and I can surveil and step. They were playing, most recently, a few days ago, a version that was playing 4 Bowmasters, I think 3 or 4 Tommies, and a Kaito as well, which Kaito's kind of hard for our deck to deal with. Ancient Tomb, okay, good. I'm so glad not to be playing against that deck. It's worth noting that if they're on Blood Moon, we have 0 basics. Broadside, I think I'm very happy to see that, frankly. Like, I'm going to have a really good time smallpoxing next turn. Do you want to do anything crazy, like throw a Fury at me and be super aggro? That would be beautiful. Well, we're going to surveil. I would love to find a Mox here, but I do think this is very much like a smallpox turn because it puts them in a mana deficit and it takes out their threat. And they're already down to 4 cards. So going down to 3 cards, we can pitch an Uro. So it's not like consequential for us. Hopefully there's a Loam. Oh, is it another Uro? Yeah, sure. These Surveil lands are really strong in our deck because there's just so many cards that we actively want to put into our graveyard. All right, so I think it is correct to just be greedy here because like every turn represents them potentially doing something really powerful. So Uro goes to the yard. Take that land. Okay. Now if they have another soul land, they can really wreck us here. They don't. Okay, that's good. So I think I could... Oh, Lava Spore Boots. I think it's probably a Wasteland turn. Yeah, Wasteland and Thoughtseize. Let's Thoughtseize them first. I think we just deny them mana. Pyro is pretty far away after this waste. Yeah, I'm just going to... And we can just get rid of that with Lili later. It's notable that we don't actually have anything going on, but we have a lot of lands that we're drawing to. But we could sit here doing nothing for a few turns. Our opponent's going to be doing the same, most likely. Unless they just drew like runner, soul land. Okay, we're not doing anything. This is kind of embarrassing because we could have waited a turn. They didn't actually have anything to do with that Urza Saga. Yeah, in retrospect, I think I should have just rumbled first. Another Chrome Mox. I don't think it was necessary for them to do that now. But maybe they were afraid that we were going to blow away their lands. Witherbloom will be sweet when we can use it. We're just sitting in the waiting room. And this happens when you screw up. When you're playing Pox. Like, I've certainly been in this situation more than once where I just screw up. Chalice for 1, no problem. I'm not even going to bother blowing that up. We have literally one drop in our deck, which is Thoughtseize. Just going to chill for a few more turns here due to my bad judgment. This was an easily winnable game, and if we lose, I'll consider it a huge punt. Okay, now Pyro's coming out, and wow, have the tables turned. We're going to take like 6 here. 5. And we have to win in 2 turns, basically. So Lili can clear this, but that's 2 mana. Come on, do me dirty here. I don't deserve it, but please land. All right, thank goodness. Okay, so I think what we do is we just play the Rumble. I mean, they could technically like rip a Pyro and just kill us now, but I think we need to Rumble. Other option is blow up one of their lands and regrow a land. I think it's better to Rumble here because we'll almost certainly find a land. And then we have a Chumper for a turn cycle. And the only thing that kills us is Pyroglyph going off. Loam goes in the yard. That's very good for us. I'm going to take the Mox here. And I'll deploy it later. Like, it's just going to be win more, basically. Because once we clear this... Yeah, I'm not going to chump. Not going to chump. Not unless they play a second threat. You have a land in hand. I know it. If it's another Pyroglyph, we're already dead. It's a... Yeah. Okay, another land. That's great. So they nuked their own city for us. All right, and I think we can turn it around from 3 life. So Loam, most definitely. Get that back. I'll just start by playing Lili and clearing the board. I guess we are still actually super duper dead. So we Loam. Then we have land plus Mox Diamond, and we can deploy a Bowmaster. Yeah, I think that's actually the play. So I'm going to go ahead and Loam. We'll get back Wasteland. Wasteland fetch. We do have to fetch down to 2. Yeah, I'll do it like that. And we're going to Mox. I will discard. There are a lot of scary draws that they could have next turn. I haven't played a land yet this turn, have I? So I could waste them. Yeah, okay. So the play is waste them off this Ancient Tomb. And then just deploy a Bowmaster and Chump. It's sad, but I think it's correct. This way they have to draw a land and a threat. There's not going to be any one card that can kill us this turn. Getting some serious server lag. Okay. Let's pass. And I will probably just go ahead and deploy the Bowmaster here just because it represents 2 blockers. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and do it. I can't think of anything that could go wrong here. All right, we've super turned the corner here because we can just Lili. Okay, so I think we do just Lili here. I'll play this out so I can surveil. So there is the threat of them having both like a land and a big creature next turn. Like one of these cards in hand could be a big creature. Actually, if it's a Broadside Bombardier, we're just dead, I think. Because they could throw... So this is definitely staying back to block, but I can't block broadside. I think I'm just gonna kill with Lili, and then I'll figure it out next turn. Like we still die, but I don't think there's a way to not die. Then what we'll do is we will bring Uro back, and that should get us like enough life that we're out of immediate danger. Because currently broadside can only do 4 damage to it. Well, no, wait, it can do 5 because it can throw the lava spur. But you do want to hold back just in case they have the mana to equip as well. All right, is this? Oh my goodness, it's exactly what I feared. Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. They can equip with lava spur and we can chomp, but it's still very bad because this puts a lot of stuff on the table. So we have to chomp here. Right, so they create a token. Now we will go to block. I will block this, losing my Bowmaster, which is my kind of natural hedge against their Fable. So I think we surveil down to 2 just to get more. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to get a blue source anyway. Might as well get the ETB tap land out of my deck. So we are not safe at all. But bringing back Uro, let's see, is that useful? I mean, that's a land drop we can make under Uro just to have a land drop for the turn. I think we need to Loam. Yeah, I do want to Loam this turn cycle. And then maybe just... We have to waste them off this because this represents so much value. But they have this too. I think we just have to bring back Uro and hope. Yeah, I know it's kind of pathetic that that's our strategy, but I think it is the correct thing. They've got so much mana. If they draw a Pyro, we're just dead. Is there anything we can do to reduce the total number of types in the graveyard? No, not really. They don't have sorcery. I can take all the sorceries out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, that works out perfectly. Okay, we take all the sorceries out. Now, I believe a future Beargoyf will be a little bit smaller. We gain some life. We can actually play a land, and we can Witherbloom and kill this Lava Spur and gain some life. I think that's correct. Witherbloom, destroy target permanent, and I will gain some life. All right, and now I believe we're out of range of Pyro just straight up killing us if they find it off the Fable. I forgot to use Lili. That was a punt. So they just discarded Sundering Eruption, and they got a card. Spirit Guide. Okay, that's fine. That would be scary if they hadn't. But yeah, they can just hang back and chump for a few turns. I do think we go ahead and just get Wasteland out here. I'm not going to be Thoughtseizing them for sure. Let's go ahead and get Wasteland back. Wasteland. Underground Sea. I can actually bring Uro back this turn. And just not keep him. Blue. Green. Just to gain some life and ramp. So we'll get rid of Loam at this point. I think is fine. And yeah, I just want to keep my sorceries low. Creatures don't matter. I'll get rid of those. And I'll get rid of land. All right, cool. So Uro comes back. We'll keep the big one. The other one dies, but we still get the triggers. Play the Wasteland out. I'll plus here. I'm going to go ahead and attack. I'll discard this Thoughtseize that we're never going to cast. That's the sorcery that I said I was trying to clear all the sorceries out of my yard. Yeah, screwed that up. All right, we're coming in. We will play another Wasteland, I guess. I think that was... Yeah. So we've gained enough life that I think we're okay. I'm trying to think of things that could go wrong here. This is only game 1. That's... Oh, they're going to get another dude. So they will have a lot of blockers next turn. They may just come in for a Lili, not knowing I have 2 more. I can actually double Lili and just clear those. That's one of the reasons I'm playing a lot of Lilis, like all 4. It's because Lili's like really good at just doing a quick job and dying. They get the token. Okay, they kill that Lili. So I think I just double Lili. Let's go ahead and double Lili. Black. They may, for the first one, they may make the mistake of sacrificing their tapped Goblin Shaman token. Is that even a mistake? Not sure that it is. Okay. Well, I'm just going to do it again. I'd like to sack. Now they have to sacrifice the Goblin Shaman token. Otherwise, they're dead on board. Okay, and now I come in for a hug. Bowmaster up. They try any sudden moves. We could hit their land. I don't think that's correct. I'll just play it as land. Again, I'm trying to be decisive and fast here. Okay, they stay alive. The game is, I think, over. Like, I've got tons of life. What could go wrong? Okay. So in this matchup, Force of Vigor absolutely comes in. Tabernacle could come in. It's not embarrassing. I think URO'S pretty mad. Well, the tap lands are pretty bad too. Let's think about this. Barrier Wife's are really good here. I think Uro is fine. Uro gains life, but it's slow. I think Lili comes out. They're often hellbent by the time we get there. Thoughtseize definitely comes out, especially on the draw. It's much better on the play. I think we take out an Uro for sure, and maybe just have one Tabby. Yeah, because the second one is totally redundant. Like, I would say, like, if you can afford even one Tabby, that's probably fine. You don't need the second one. Okay, this is a mulligan. No lander. The rare no lander in the 27 land. Wait, take out any. Yeah, I think we have 27 lands in. So this is a double loam hand. I'm just going to keep and pitch one of the loams. You don't throw back, loam hands, in my experience. That's like the core of the deck. So if they just have, like, turn one Blood Moon, there's nothing we can really do. We just go to the next game. It is Magus of the Moon. Okay. So unfortunately, our only out is to draw Mox Diamond. So I was just going to F6, and maybe we draw Mox Diamond and we dig our way out of this. Hearse. That's a good card against us. It's a good card that we can blow up with Witherbloom if we get out from under Magus. Not giving them any Hearse targets. Babel. I think we can concede. Even if we draw, we'd have to draw like a stunning series of cards, and we eventually did have a Mox Diamond coming, but it wouldn't have. I've actually had a positive win rate against this deck, surprisingly, on the strength of. Yeah, we don't need 27 lands. I'm going to take out one of the. They're not going to go after our lands, and that allows us to bring in Disruptor Flute if we would like. Another Uro. We could add the one Liliana. Yeah, after seeing Hearse, that definitely makes Uro look less exciting. Unfortunately, this sort of stuff doesn't statistically happen, but it does happen occasionally. This is a meh hand for sure, but I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to multi. I think the card that we pitch here is... I wouldn't fault our opponent for just mulling straight to Blood Moon. We don't have a second black for Smallpox. It was insane in game one, but that doesn't mean it's going to be insane here. I don't want to throw back land when we have Uro in our hand. I think Smallpox is going to be the card that goes back. So we can get a Surveil here, but we don't have any basics. Oh, thank goodness. I needed the slow start. Our Surveil, our only Surveil this time. So I took one of them out for the Tabby. Loam! That was a good Surveil. So now we can do that, and then we can loam some stuff back. All right, and we got a lot of lands. That's great. Do we give them a turn with that land? I don't think we do. I think we waste here. This way, if they have like an Ancient Tomb, we can potentially draw a Mox and waste a second time. But like we're very much like they're a prison deck, and we just have to deny them the mana. We have to take advantage of the fact that they have an extremely greedy mana base. Okay, and now I really need to waste them a second time, so Mox would be so clutch if I could have a Mox, please. Witherbloom. Unfortunately, unable to use that right now. Yeah, I'm just going to loam these cards back and hope we're not dead. I think there's a very good chance that... and I always grab the wastes because you don't know whether you're ever going to actually cast this again. But you generally do want to have as many wastes as you can. It's like one of the most important parts of the deck. Yeah, if we'd gotten a Mox there, it would have like really broken. But instead, I think we're going to get Blood Moon here. I'll be so relieved if they just play like some threat. But it's probably a Blood Moon. Oh, that's actually fine. That's fine. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Now what we can do is we can Uro into Wasteland, which I think is pretty good. Do we want to rip this again? Actually, so if we do this, then we have Uro next turn, potentially. All right, Tabby's in the yard. That is potentially great. So let's go ahead and just... Yeah, we did bin to Force of Vigors, though, which I'm not particularly happy about. Let's go get our bio here. Green. Blue. Uro. Going to waste the Ancient Tomb here. I could waste the red source. They're going to get another red source off of this. I think it needs to be the total. We just need to decrease the total amount of mana. Next turn, Uro can come back, assuming they don't have the car. If they have the car, they can just take that out. If we, they have such a low, for a mono colored deck, they only have like 4 mountains in the entire deck, and they don't have any way to find them, so you can't waste lock them. We may be able to get Tabernacle plus waste lock. That'd be sweet. They discard Fury, draw a card. I mean, they have a ton of cards in hand. I'm worried. Blood Moon is still GG here. We haven't found the Mox yet. Yeah, that's GG basically. We've already gone through 2 of our Force of Vigors. They're going to start accumulating resources now. We have to rip a Mox or a Force of Vigor stat. And even if we rip the Force of Vigor, it's not necessary, or the Mox, it's not necessary. Yeah, we can't do anything. I'll just play a land and pass. They are going to very quickly pull ahead. And again, like, this is what we signed up for. We knew that these kinds of Blood Moons matches were going to be a night. And again, I want to emphasize, I've got a positive record against them. Like, I think this is the 3rd time I faced one, and I won the previous 2. But now that they've got the One Ring cooking, it's very hard to keep up with that. All right, that was... But it's important to just get out with grace and not get salty, like, because the One Ring is going to take over the game. And it wasn't the One Ring that killed us there. I don't even think I'm complaining about the One Ring. It was the Blood Moon. The Blood Moon locked us out, and then the One Ring was just like kind of like a straw being thrown on top of the camel. That was all right. Round 3. We've got a freaking god hand. Look at this hand. This is insane. Unknown opponent. Let's see what they do here. So I would love to Mox Diamond. Uh-oh. The pseudo mirror. All right, so here's what I think we do. I don't want to have to sack a land, and I don't need to sack a land. Oh my goodness, that's so brutal. Okay, let's play this. Discard this. I'm going to just look at their hand. Let's take their action. Crop Rot. They've got 3 Maze of Ith. Okay. Well, the good news is they're going to lose like a lot of their mana production here. This is a crazy, crazy sequence. We're not going to be discarding any cards. They're going to lose one of their Moxes and a land. It's not a bad exchange. Yeah, I mean, we'll eventually work through those Maze of Iths, but we will have to work through them. All right. It's really just like a battle of who gets the Loam, but they actually need another mana-producing land in addition to the forest. Okay, sure. Mismatched art, explorations. The Mazes of Ith are out. They have 0 cards in hand. It seems like a good play. Now, if I draw another... Yeah, I'll play it. I've never had a triple Mox Diamond hand before. It's pretty exciting. They could still just rip, you know, whatever it's called and kill us. Oh, Rumble's great. So we could live the dream and put both Uro and Loam in the yard, but I'll settle for either. Okay, there's Loam. All right, so we did find Loam first. That means we're favored. But they have an I win button in the form of going and getting the giant dude, and we do not have that. They have crop rotation and... yeah, I think crop rotation is the main way they would do that. Yeah, I'm going to surveil. See if I can put an Uro in there. Bowmaster's not a good card here. We'll just skip it. So we are going to Loam. And we're just looking for Wasteland. Oh, there we go. Double Wasteland. Good. Wasteland, non-Wasteland land. And I'll just go ahead and go after... If you go after stage here, they can go ahead and copy. Crop rotate. Oh, no. Oh, no. Are they going to win? They don't have the mana to win. Oh, they're bogging us? Well, that sucks. Yeah, that was a good draw. And that's like the only thing. But we still have the Loam, so we can still use it next turn. It's just a little kink we have to work through. We're still dead to the thing, but Crop Rot was a very good draw there. So they could still, you know, just make... Okay, I'm just going to cast it for no value. Getting all fair matchups today. Excited about that. Mulch! This card's really cracked. They found a stage and a Loam. Okay, so the game's probably over. Gosh, they have so many stages. But I don't see... They may just be all in on the Dark Depths mode. Okay, let's see. Flip a land. Okay, there we go. We got a land. 2 lands. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to take them... Oh, we can take them with their... Well, they have double stage, and they've got Loam, and they've got the exploration, so they're going to really be able to use it a lot better than we can. We have Uro. I think we just need our Uro here. Uro copies Maze, and then we waste Maze. I don't think it's a good plan, but it's a better plan than waiting around to die. Yeah, so we have to exile our Loam along with this, unfortunately, but we are going to draw a bunch of cards. as we attack and get rebuffed. So let's think about their graveyard. So they can bring back Maze of Ith as many times as they want through Loam. Really, like, we don't have a way of getting rid of their graveyard. I'll absolutely be bringing in Leyline of the Void. I'll just leave this in play, which will make it a little bit less convenient for them if they want to Dark Depths. So what I presume is they're going to bring back Loam here. They found a Catacombs, another stage, another maze. Yeah, I don't know how we would ever get through all that. I'm trying to think if we have any graveyard hate. This might be a waste of time. I think this is a waste of time because we could get like a bunch of Bowmasters out, but it's going to take so long to do sufficient damage. Yeah, I think we just attack first, trigger it, and we just, like, if we get enough Bowmasters out, we might be able to win through that. They almost certainly have Tabernacle in there. It may be like a quote-unquote budget version that doesn't have the $2,000 to $3,000 Legends card in it. Come in like this. They're going to maze it. That's fine. We still get the trigger. We gain some life. We get ourselves further out of Merit Lage target range. Okay, Thoughtseize. No. Thoughtseize is pretty bad. Let's go ahead and do this. Green. This is still during my attack step. I'm wasting valuable clock here. I'll take the Bowmaster here. We just need to go wide. Lily does nothing, unfortunately. Okay, so more of the same. They still haven't found... What do they may have found like... no, it should just be Life from Loam in hand. Interesting, they have blue. So they might be playing Uro. I don't know what the blue's for. They've disconnected. Okay, they get back a bunch of stuff. So they can make all these stages into Mazes of Ith. 4 stages. They could have 7 mazes if they wanted to. Yeah, we just can't win. But I'm going to maybe like learn more about what they're doing over there because they are showing me a lot of their deck each turn. Yeah, because they should be able to hold back our offensive indefinitely. Unless we, like, even if we get like Waste Lock, there's no solution. Maybe we're wasting our time. Here, Hellbent, so we don't need to worry about stopping instant speed Merit Lage off. But I will keep that Wasteland up. Come in with everything. Attack all. Just turn everything around. Well, 1 damage will get through. Okay, so we did a little bit of damage. Let's go ahead and rumble here. We get a Lily. Yeah, Lily does at least help us answer for 1 turn. The other stuff doesn't help. I'll just play. Yeah, I think I'm wasting time. I'm wasting valuable time. I don't think we can win. I think it's deterministic that we can't win. Oh, wait. We could do the Lily Ultimate. Yeah, actually, that might be the secret. Like, it'll slow them down a lot, and we might be able to get a few attacks through. They have a Wasteland now. Field of the Dead. Oh, we're not going to be able to beat Field of the Dead either. I'm just going to concede. This is a nightmare matchup for us. But Leyline will help for sure. We didn't see any other things to hit. I'm not sure if Force of Vigor is correct. Baraglyph doesn't feel correct. Disruptor Flute does shut off activated ability, so we could just name Stage. I think that'd be pretty strong. Thoughtseize comes out. Does it? No, actually, I think it stays in. As pathetic of a card as it is. I think Smallpox is the card that comes out, because if you think about it, like, it's just unlikely they're ever going to have any creature, so at the very best, we're getting like a 2-for-2. Bowmasters is pretty terrible. I think Bowmasters comes out and we just put the Barrows in. They'll seem a lot better. And they can hold off, indefinitely. We never saw Dark Depths, but I presume that there are Dark Depths in there. That's a win con. Cards we can take out. Otawara is an answer to Merit Lage token. I think Liliana, we go down to 3. Yeah, let's do it. So I do think this is a mole till we get Leyline of the Void thing. There we go. That's perfect. And we even got a Loam in this hand. They probably have their own Loam, Leyline, but we can't blow it up or bounce it to their hand, and they may not have black mana. Yep, they had 2. Love it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and kick it off with some Surveil action. So Loam is not going to do us a damn thing here. Uro is not going to do anything. We're just looking for Barrow. Let's go find him. Actually, Barrow doesn't do anything either. Neither of us are going to have Graveyard. I just need to ramp up my mana to... I'll have to double Otawara. Yeah, how do we win? How do we win? I don't think we can actually win anymore. I should have thought that through. So, Barrow can come out. He doesn't do anything. We besiege you one of them. I think this is like literally an impossible game. I don't know if they can win. I presume they can still win because they still have Merit H. I think I'm actually going to keep these lands for now. Just I think the game is going to go on for a very long time unless they just have quick Merit H. Without the ability to play back Merit H, it's possible that like this Otawara just maybe they scoop because they don't realize that we don't have a win con. I'll play that out. I should have. Oh wait, Lili separating their stuff into a pile is still a way we can do it. Yeah, this is fine. They get to keep those. They get to keep those. Yeah, that's pretty good. They do have Bojuka Bog, but I don't know if they have a second black source. So they may not be able to play out another Leyline of the Void. Yeah, I don't really like doing. I think I'm gonna surveil again. Expedite. I mean, I could like Uro here. It feels wrong to Uro into the Void just to get a card deeper. It does ramp us. So, yeah, this deck that they're playing like just gobbles up fair decks. Just eats them alive. Okay, so they're going to be able to put their entire hand into play. They'll discard this Leyline, which at least I won't have to worry about. Don't. Okay. This is bad news. Super bad news, friends. Because they're going to be able to get a ton of stuff. I should have probably played out the Wasteland previously. Let's see how many triggers they get. They get a lot of triggers. They get 4 triggers? Holy, yeah, because they all come in at the same time. Okay, well, very bad for us. So we can Uro to gain some life. We can Otawara one of them out. I mean, like, it sounds crazy, but like one of the win cons might be blowing up our own Leyline. Or bouncing it to our hand so that we can have stuff in our yard so that we can actually use the barrows. Because if we get a barrow out, we're actually okay here. Assuming he has power and toughness. I'm going to win that. We need action at this point. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm just a total fool for pretending that we're still in this somehow. Let's go ahead and do this just to figure out what our options are here. This is a chumper for one of these for one turn. There's a barrow. I think we take barrow. I think, sadly, we probably do need to waste the Field of the Dead. It's just going to generate so many of those things. Other option. We bounce our own Leyline. That doesn't... Maybe we have to do this when they have something going in the yard. I don't think it's going to... There's like a decent chance they draw a land here and they get another one. Okay, so hear me out. We play the Barragoyf this turn. Next turn, we Otawara, and we... Yeah, okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. Play Barragoyf now. Next turn, we Otawara the Leyline back to our hand. Then we waste them. And then that's one type in their yard. But then they'll just never put a second type in their yard. Maybe they screw up and they somehow do it. Oh, second Field of the Dead. Okay, yeah, they're going to get even more. So they have another land drop. So we're basically on a 1 turn clock here. So even if we get the... Yeah, I'm just like contemplating like how screwed I am. I probably should have conceded a long time ago. They said GG. They actually said GG to me. They're like, you're not going to win. Taunted me. Okay, so... Yeah, there's nothing we can do. I mean, they're not wrong. It's just kind of a... Okay, let's go to the next game. All right. Round 4. We're 1-2 after losing to both lands and Mono Red Prison, which I think the Mono Red Prison could have gone either way. But that that crazy Loam, that was wild. This is a keep. Not a great hand, but I like the Thoughtseize. This hits multiple different angles. Okay, Eldrazi. So you don't generally want to waste against Eldrazi, or Thoughtseize, but I think we probably do. Let's see, what are they? Oh yeah, that's fine. I think we have to waste this land. They probably have a replacement. The other option is we just chill for a few turns. Like we Thoughtseize their best card. Yeah, our hand doesn't line up very well against them at all, and they may have Wasteland as their own. But we're not going to win by like hanging back and just wasting them. They just drew 2 cards. Holy cow! Their hand is garbage. And I am glad we wasted because that one ring would have been, or I'm glad we Thoughtseized. Like generally we wouldn't be rewarded for doing what we just did, but we got lucky, super lucky. Actually, they were a few turns away from using it, but yeah, wasting them is not going to get us anywhere here. I don't think we should bother. Just try to get an Uro out. That's what my plan is. So we'll do a surveil, and we'll just hope they don't find wastelands. Wastelands will slow the arrival of our beloved Uro. Thoughtnaut's here. I can't stop that. I can Lili, clear it, get my card back. They are going to probably exile Uro. They might not Uro. They may not go for Uro, but they should. Bowmasters is going to go in the yard. It's just not impactful enough against their deck. So we will go ahead and Lili. Yeah, I think that's better because we don't want to take hits. And then next turn we can start waste locking them, hopefully. We may have to Lili more than once if they have like an aggressive creature to follow up with. I'm hoping that Lili distracts them a little bit and cools down some of the aggression. Okay, so we get our card. It is a smallpox. That's good. I will look forward very much to casting that if they play out a creature next turn. Monolith. Okay. Yeah, more mana. Petal. Wow. Like, do they have any payoffs at all? Yeah, I don't think smallpox is where we want to be here. I think we do want to get the waste lock just because we have literally nothing else going on. Yeah, maybe we do want a smallpox just for some sort of momentum. I mean, they have more lands in hand. We're not doing anything with the mana. I think I'm going to go ahead and waste the eye because they're close to being able to activate it. Yeah, I'm almost certain they would be able to activate it next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they would have been able to activate it. And they'll still be able to activate another one if they draw it. Let's go ahead and plus here. I'm going to just discard my Loam here. And then I will smallpox discarding my other land. Now they're hellbent. We start loaming next turn, assuming they don't have something that interacts with our graveyard. Okay. So they're living off the top of the deck, but like a one ring would blow the game open. Any sort of creature, we can just kill it with Lili. Okay, that's fine. So that'll probably attack Lili, and then I'll just kill it with the other Lili. And then that does mean we're taking a turn off from our waste lock strategy, but this thing's too good. We have to kill it. So we'll go ahead and loam here. See if we can reveal another Uro. That'd be great. We don't. I'm just going to go ahead and... I'm pretty sure I still have a Bayou in my deck. All right. So we just have to see if they keep ripping creatures. If they rip other stuff, it's good for us. Because like non-basic lands would be the best thing that they could rip here. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to waste that. Okay, let's go ahead and get our wasteland back. Along with some other stuff. Wasteland. Bayou. Underground Mortuary. These are back in the grip. Hit that immediately. They don't have the mana to activate. Well, plus we discard just to get further ahead with our resources. I want to discard the Mortuary. I could still play the Undercity Sewers if I absolutely need to bring back an Uro later. So now we've got the waste lock going. Witherbloom blows this up. We've got the next creature they play covered. They tap that. They have no legal targets here. I'll just sack Lili to get rid of this, and then I'll keep wasting. And I think that'll mostly be the game. I'm worried about time because my server, like, again, this is not Wizards' fault or Daybreak's fault. This is just the fact that I'm behind the Great Firewall in China, visiting family over here for a few weeks before I go to Japan. And yeah, it's okay. Let's see. Well, actually, I think we just loam. Yeah, because we need to get the wasteland again. Okay, and now I'm just gonna get the wasteland back. I could bring back Uro. I think it's better to just clear this and keep wasting them. Grab that. Okay, now we can minus them. We get a card. Even deeper into our deck. I don't think that's super necessary. I could just take an organic draw here. Actually, I just want to leave that in there. Yeah, drew an Uro. That's fine. So the game is probably over here. I don't know how they could come back. They're under no obligation to concede. They can take advantage of the fact that like my connection is actually like, 250 megabits per second. But I have not been able to diagnose the cause. Speaking settings on my network, unclaimed territory. So I'll just waste that, and I can Uro first and then waste it. Oh, actually, I have to. No, I can bring Uro back from my graveyard. So Uro comes back, Wasteland comes out, hits the unclaimed territory. We got super lucky. I don't think this is a good matchup. All right, so I lost about 10 minutes there, but this game, we're going to win this game. Now we just need to win the other one, and like, I'm not going to bother loaming. I'm just going to keep attacking. Okay. They would need like a chumper to buy more time, and I think they're absolutely playing to the clock here, and they should be, because the forever clock, basically. If they've got K command, they could do something there to like get rid of one, change anything, it'll just buy time. Okay. All right, so 9 minutes to win 2 games, or to win 1 more game. So we can aggressively concede if we fall behind. Let's talk about what strategies don't work when you don't have a lot of time. I think Loam is mediocre here. Baraglyph is good, though. I don't think Disruptor Flute comes in. Maybe we just swap the Thoughtseizes for Baraglyphs. Yeah, because they are, at the end of the day, like a very aggro. Like, I would say they're more aggro than they were with the Sowing Mica Spawn, because now they're trying to beat you down with Linebreaker. So we still have the Smallpox element, which is a good card against them. Liliana proved that she was pretty good there, getting rid of multiple threats in a row. All right, this is a pretty strong hand. We have Loam and we have Loam and Mox and Smallpox. So I'll snap keep it. So what I'll do here is I'm going to go ahead and fetch and get the Mox down. And unless they play a creature out, I'm not going to go for turn 1 Smallpox. I think there's a lot of risk there. Okay. Smallpox, definitely call my name here. So we'll go ahead and get our lands back. Pretty perfect. Got 6 cards going into the next turn. And we can repeatedly Smallpox if we need to. My hope is that they do play out some creatures and we get to Smallpox. The dream would be drawing another Mox Diamond. But we're not going to be able to do that if we have to Loam here. If they play out some sort of artifact mana source, we can just Witherbloom it. That would be nice. Cavern. Petal. The One Ring is a card I'm not prepared to deal with if that's what they have. Thank goodness it's just a creature. Okay, yeah, we can deal with this. So I get my Loam back. Bury in the guard. Yeah, I just want a Smallpox. I think I want to Surveil on my way out. I know it costs a life, but I think it's worth it. I could have just Lilied here, but I think Pox is going to be better. Yeah, I don't want that. Okay, let's go ahead and just black, Pox. I will discard Loam. That way I can keep this land in hand in case, something happens to my Mox. I can just Loam again next turn. All right. And we just 2 for 1. Felt pretty good. Really, we like 3 for 3, but we're going to break parity here. I would love for them to jam another thing. Like not Thought-Knots here, but something else. Looks like they are using blue mana. There is a dude that like exiles artifacts. Hopefully that's not that. Okay, Null Drifter's fine. Seriously tempted to just Witherbloom to blow that up and dig deeper. The problem with Lili is she just dies to the hasty dude. See if we can find a wasteland. That'd be great. There we go. And an arrow. I'm going to go ahead and just start waste locking them. It's risky, but they have to keep finding land. And that represents 2 land. Another eye. Okay. So they could play a pretty big dude here. We do have another Smallpox. All right. Not sure what they could have that they're not playing anything. I'm going to Loam again and just waste them again. They could K-command this, which is fine if they want to do that. Try to take out our waste. No? They will eventually run out of lands. Okay, they have another eye. Glaring Fleshraker. All right, that's annoying. Do they have a colorless spell to go with it? That makes my Smallpox suck. All right, getting more server lag, unfortunately. Even with it out, it may be worth going ahead and continuing to waste them. Wow, that's huge. We got so lucky. Yeah, I'm going to keep Loaming. We'll just get some card selection here. Witherbloom is fine, but it's not instrumental. Let's go ahead and black, Smallpox. If they have K-command, it's huge here. I will discard this land. Still got the eye over there. I actually need to... I should have probably... Yeah, I need to get a wasteland for this. We do need to take that out. Actually, what I think I'll do is I'll probably Witherbloom, hit this, and just get back the white wasteland. If they don't play a threat this turn. Black, green, Witherbloom. Okay, we've gotten very lucky that they haven't had a K command here. Let's go and waste that. They are getting lower and lower on resources, and then we just take over the game. Like, the clock shouldn't be a huge deal once we've taken over the game. That Mox is huge because now I can just bring back Uro immediately. Uro's back. Triggers. I'll play this land. I'll pass. Next turn, I'm going to waste them again. They could have Dismember. It doesn't stop it. I'm actually not sure what they have in their deck that can get rid of this. I'm going to go ahead and fetch in the end step. Undercity Sewer. Wasteland is perfect. I'll leave that on top so I don't have to mill. Just going to go ahead and go for this now. Looks like they're finally K commanding. It's fine. They get a dude. They're just hoping to, like, I guess, run me out of clock. I'm going to go green. Colorless. Let's get back those wastelands. And, of course, they're welcome to continue playing. But, like, this game is fairly in my grasp. So we'll just put this wasteland in, and then we can waste that land. They opt not to block. I'm going to go ahead and just make them sack that creature. That Mox Diamond, like, greatly sped things up. Now we just F6. And we'll F6 through their turn as well. All right, and check this out. I'm going to go ahead and Loam. Do my little victory lap here. Let's get our wastelands back. And a third land that we can discard. These come back into hand. We can plus. Each player discards a card. Discard Uro here. I'm just going to reduce them to total ashes here. Black, black. Colorless. Go play this one. Keep this one. I'll plus this one too. They've got one card in hand. I'm going to try to get the true flawless victory where they have no permanents, no cards in hand. If that seems mean, like my opponent doesn't have to concede and I don't have to not troll them with a flawless victory thing. Okay, they scooped. All right, and to be fair, I wouldn't have actually been able to get the last thing card out of their hand unless I drew another Lily. Yeah, again, sorry to my opponent for making him wait while I disconnected and reconnected, but I do think I fixed the lag issue to some extent. Final round, fighting for the positive record against an unknown opponent with a smallpox hand and Uro. I think it's fine. It doesn't have everything we need, for sure. Maybe this was a mull. I don't know. I think it's fine in the sense that we can just take it slow. We have some interaction in the form of Otawara. If they get aggro, we can punish that with smallpox. Woodfield Hills historically has been an aggro thing, but it could be they're playing like Storm or something. Storm does play red-green. Commune with Beavers. This is a cool card. I've never seen this. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact, creature, or land from among them, put it in your hand. Okay, that's fine. It's basically like kind of like a green cantrip. The green cantrips are always worse than the blue ones, but I'm glad that they're printing them. They reveal Regisaur Alpha. Okay, what is this? This sounds like a high mana value card. Other dinosaurs you control have haste when this creature enters. Okay, and it's a 4/4. All right, interesting. Let's go ahead and surveil. Love to bin a Loam here. Smallpox. I get the feeling that this is actually probably pretty good. I'm going to keep it. Maybe it's greedy for me to keep it, but it does tell my opponent what we're doing if I bin it. They're playing like a pretty big mana deck. It looks like Smallpox might play a part in breaking that up. All right, I'm just going to chill and surveil again. We'll learn a little bit more about the deck. Next turn, we can Uro into Uro. Uro into our other land drop. Fetch. Opponent's in with the Mox. Chrome variety. This is a dinosaur deck? Okay. They're all dinosaurs. What is this? Dinosaurs that commune with beavers. Okay. Hunting Velociraptor. First strike. Dinosaurs you cast have prowl to you may cast a spell for a prowl if you do. Okay, so they can basically cheat out fatties with this thing. Got it. So I'm going to want to get rid of this thing. This is like, I think, one of their key enablers. So we get the final surveil land out of our deck. Smallpox number 3. I mean, there's no way. There's no way it's correct to keep that. Mox would be so good here. This is a 2 power. Yeah, we have to just clear. It sucks, but I think it's correct to just clear this. This is where, like, the deck really wants Mox. So we can sack one of these. We'll probably sack this blue land. Since we have another blue source and green's much more important. They'll lose their dinosaur. They'll lose one of their lands. We'll lose one of our lands. We'll bin an Uro, and then we can bring Uro back. So this is kind of like the dinosaur equivalent of Goblin Lackey. Like, it attacks. Don't come damage to a player. Yeah. Clever girl. They got the clever girl line on there. That's the classic line from Jurassic. One of many. Let's give the movie its due. All right, and like, I'm not exaggerating. Every game action I take takes like 20 or 30 minutes. So if I time out, sorry, my excellent friends. Hopefully it won't come to that. Game Trail. Okay, I haven't seen that card before. It's like a fast land or something. I'm not sure what those are called. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to Witherbloom, and I'm going to hope to hit a... I do want to reduce their mana. I think that's higher priority than getting... yeah, so we're going to go ahead and go black, green, Witherbloom. I'm going to mill myself, and I'm going to blow up their Mox. I think their mana is the weak point of their deck. Okay, they're floating white. Just in case I play out a creature, maybe. Yeah, I guess I just grab this Undercity Sewers so I can play it out again. Kind of disappointing. Really wanted the Wasteland there. But we'll find it, and when we find it, it'll be good. Next turn we have Uro coming back. I'll bin this land. Uro coming back should be able to race what they're doing. Uro can tango with some Dinosaurs. All right, they scooped. So against Dinosaur Stompy, I mean, they are an aggro deck. Maybe I want to take out the Thoughtseizes. I don't know how wide they go. I imagine their creatures are pretty big, so I don't think Tabernacle is the right call here. I think Barragwave might be good because it's lifelink. I mean, Barragwave seems to be coming in a lot in this league. Lili seems good against, like, just being able to chip away at them over time. Smallpox is good. I mean, it could be that the Thoughtseize is just not where we want to be. It's also possible that they're playing, like... I mean, if they're playing Commune with Beavers, they're probably not playing Chalice. My general blanket rule is, against aggro, take out Thoughtseize. Bowmasters might be able to chump a couple times. It doesn't seem good. Like, that Commune with Beavers doesn't draw. Maybe we take out Bowmasters, and then we still have the ability to hit their bigger cards. I definitely wouldn't bring in Disruptor Flute because I wouldn't trust myself to name really any of the cards in their deck. Yeah, I think I'll keep the Thoughtseizes in. There are lots of situations where, like, you have kind of an odd number of mana, and then you can kind of sneak in your Thoughtseize even if it's mid-game, as long as they have cards in hand. I imagine that unlike other aggro decks that are generally getting threats out, like, there will be windows where we can snipe something. So this is the classic Life from the Loam, Mox hand. Witherbloom command seems good against their known Mox deck. I'm going to keep it. They may have like a really explosive start. Okay, if we're going to be able to get a Mox, that's great. So this is a 2-for-1. Zacom Primal Calamity. Okay, communing with Beavers. Vigilance, Reach, Trample. Untap all lands you control. Deals 3 damage to target creature. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. I'm sorry, the text on this card. Oath of Nissa. Okay, you may reveal a creature, land, or planeswalker card from among them and put it in your hand. Put the rest. Okay, interesting. All right, well, yeah, that's a good card. I mean, it like replaces itself. Shifting Ceratops. This is like the anti-blue one. Can't be countered. Protection from blue. This creature gains your choice of reach, trample, or haste until end of turn. All right. Yeah, so don't want to be dealing with that if we can avoid it. Big Uncle Barry. I think he's going to be good here. Yeah, I think we do want to Witherbloom and just hit that. I would like to Loam because I feel like Loam's going to be better, but maybe we get lucky and we get a Wasteland off of this. I should have pitched the freaking Underground Mortuary. Sorry, my excellent friends. That was a really big punt. I mean, actually, it may not be that consequential because I'm going to get a land back here. Okay, we got a... Let's get a fetch back. All right. So we succeeded in reducing my opponent's mana a little bit. Next turn, Barry is going to be a 4/5. Sure. Every turn my opponent is communing with Beavers and they're not casting giant dinosaurs, I am getting a little further ahead. I do think it's correct to Barry soon. Okay, Mox. That's going to get them down another card. They may not have a land here. Another Zacom. They play a lot of those fatties. All right. So they're 3 mana. So Shifting Ceratops, I believe, is in their hand right now. That's a 4-drop. Or haste. Okay, so if they have enough mana, they can even get attacking first. Importantly, this can block Uro indefinitely. but it can't interact with Berry. Yeah, I think we just have to stick Berry here. If we can figure out a way to get like another type in the yard, like another Mox Diamond in there, or our opponent makes the mistake of putting another type in there. Okay, they don't have any plays. That's great for us. So we can start swinging with Berry. Rumble is potentially very good. I'm going to do that before combat for sure. Yeah, I'll just take the Lili. Should be good in like a turn or two. I can also surveil to see if we can put a Mox in there. Yeah, I'll just get that next turn with Loam. But that is going to be really good. We're coming in for a hug. Now the moment of truth. Do we find anything worth keeping? No. Or anything that we can keep, I guess. I would keep literally anything. Value connoisseur. Yeah, we still don't have creature type in our graveyard. They don't have creature in their graveyard either. So that is yet another thing that could pump Uncle Barry. Okay. My opponent's not playing like a serious legacy deck. Like, no offense to them, but if you're considering whether you should play the deck that I'm playing, don't factor in this game. I wouldn't factor in this match. Like, hats off to my opponent for jumping in the ring and playing Legacy, but I just want to be clear. Like, I don't think Sheltered Thicket is a Legacy playable card. In fact, I'd argue that you don't play these types of lands at all in your aggro deck. And if you want to, you can look at my aggro decks, and you'll see that like I never play these types of cards. So I actually think it's good to like go ahead and loam here, even though we got a bunch of loams, just on the off chance we hit something bigger. We didn't. I'm just gonna do. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and loam here. We're gonna get back Wasteland, and I'll get this Bayou too. Okay, so now we're gonna waste. We're gonna play a Lili. We're gonna plus, so we both discard. I'll just discard one of these loams. My opponent does discard a land or a creature, and now my berry is even bigger. And we should be able to find a Barragoyf or a Uro or something off of this. We don't. Okay, well, still a good turn for us. I mean, we wasted them. Okay, good games. So that was a 3-2. That last one was kind of like, I think probably any serious Legacy deck would be able to likely beat that. I did play 3 previous leagues with this exact 75, and I 4-1'd, I 2-3'd, and I 3-2'd. So that this does have an overall positive record. Barely, well, yeah. Yeah, it's like, you can probably expect, like, if you play well, to get 3 out of the 5 matches across those 4. So I think that one really weird matchup against Mulch was just crazy. Like, that was a crazy match. And I do think it was 100% correct to leyline, but the fact that they had double leyline, I just didn't consider how weak we were to leyline with that particular way. Like, because normally I've got Orcish Bowmasters in, and I'll just win with Orcish Bowmasters. But when I took the Orcish Bowmasters out, I literally was like depending on there being some sort of graveyard presence for us to win. So, yeah. Just note that if you think somebody's bringing leyline in, don't take out all your Bowmasters for Barragoyfs, because, like, especially if you're leylining them. Okay, I don't know. It's like very, very super niche interaction, but it's worth noting. The Tabernacle was great against the token deck. We didn't get to play Force of Vigor too much, but it's solid. I think that had we managed to find one of these, it could have ended the Blood Moon, and we could have survived against Moon Stompy. Again, I'll say that I think this has a decent matchup against Moon Stompy, even without playing any basics, just because it has Mox Diamond for colored mana, and it has Force of Vigor. And frankly, like, a lot of things you're doing, like, they're just trying to do things that don't really matter. Like, Chalice doesn't really affect you. They want to Trinisphere you, fine. It's not that big of a deal. And you're going to be able to punish the heck out of their greedy, mono red mana base that only has 4 mountains in it with Life from the Loam. So I think this is a really fun deck to play. It's a medium skilled deck. You get hands where it's just like really obvious, like, okay, I definitely need a Mox Diamond here, and I definitely need to, but like, when do you start working toward Uro versus when do you shift from trying to prison them to trying to beat them down with Uro? Really, that's like the main skill point. And then just like kind of like knowing the matchup and what keepable hands are. Thoughtseize is always going to be a high skill card, in my humble opinion. And yeah, I think that this deck has the tools. I could see a lot of people don't like saying like, why don't you play Urza Saga? Like Urza Saga is great and all that stuff, but you don't need Urza Saga. And Urza Saga is not really synergistic with what you're trying to do here. Like Urza Saga and Smallpox, it's okay, but like Uro and Smallpox is great because you're just like, yeah, let me just discard my Uro, or like, oh, I just have to sacrifice my Uro, which is fine. I've already gotten a 2-for-1 for him. He'll be right back next turn. You know, like I feel like you could definitely strip out like a lot of the cards from this deck, like Malevolent Rumble. Okay, maybe Witherbloom seemed pretty good, but maybe Liliana, maybe. But like I think Smallpox, Uro, Mox Diamond, and Loam. Those are the core of the deck. And I feel like there could be a lot of experimentation in that regard, but I'm not really just interested in jamming. I did the exercise, and I feel like you just lose too much colored mana sources, and it becomes too hard to cast Uro and Smallpox. And then what I see people do is like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll add Urborg. And Urborg is great if you're playing mono black. I don't play it in my mono black Pox decks. I don't think it's a very good card, but let me show you what it looks like. So it turns all your lands into swamps. If we can find it here. Not this Urborg. This is a cool old Urborg. Check out that sick art. Looks like something you draw on a notebook. No shade of the artist, but like back in school, you'd be like, yeah, I got my colored pencils. If I can find the actual land here, maybe I should make this a little bit bigger. So a lot of people play Urborg. I think, yeah, Urborg. Tomb of Yawgmoth. Let's go ahead and throw that in here. So I think this is good in mono black, but you wouldn't want to play it here because you do need the double blue, double black, and this is just another card that does not tap for blue or black. You'll note the only lands in my entire deck that do not tap for either green or blue are the actual wastelands. Everything else, like all these duels, tap for green or blue, so we can reliably get Uro back turn 4 if we need to. So that's like a deck building. Like if you want to tinker in this space, just keep that in mind. And like a lot of people will be like, why don't you just play Urborg? He fixes now your wasteland tap for black and all this stuff. And of course, Urborg is another easily wastable land. And if you play more than one and like you have to legend rule him, it's super awkward. Yeah, in short, like I think Urborg is fine in mono black Pox. I would not play it in Loam Pox. Certainly not in Uro Loam Pox. Other potential things that people might say, like, is Bowmasters really synergistic with the deck? Because isn't the deck just trying to go really grindy? Bowmasters can kind of get people early. Like, frankly, you don't need Orcish Bowmasters. I just think it's a good card right now. Like, if you were to just take out the Orcish Bowmasters and swap it for like 4 Baragorfs, that could absolutely work. But Bowmasters is okay. You're probably not going to win games with Bowmasters, but it's material. Like, I'm sure that you could probably do something better. I did tinker with a version of this deck that was actually playing enough blue cards to support Force of Will. I don't think that would have really helped us in any of our matches today, except for the Sneak and Show matchup. And I'm not even sure if that's part of this video because I did another league right before this. And that Sneak and Show matchup is pretty bad. There's not really a lot you can do other than waste lock them. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the deck. Like I think Orcish Bowmasters could definitely go, but I mean, I'd love to see a version that doesn't even play Thoughtseize, but I think you have to play Thoughtseize right now. I'd love to see just like a higher curve, you know, basically like lands, but with Smallpox. I think that could definitely work, and with Uro. Now, there have been lands builds in the past that have played Uro, but, you know, it doesn't synergize as well as when you're playing Smallpox and you're putting just tons of stuff in your graveyard, and Malevolent Rumble was so good. I think this card is a 4 of right now. Like, I think it was been really good. Just every chance you get to like dump stuff into your graveyard and potentially find an Uro or a Loam is like a chance you want to take. I did look at a lot of other kind of cards that you can put in your graveyard. For example, Cling to Dust or Raven's Crime, things like that. You could try those. I'm not convinced that you need Raven's Crime. It feels kind of janky to just take out like their worst card, especially with all the Reanimator in the format. Like Smallpox is pretty bad against Reanimator because like, oh yeah, I'll just discard my Atraxa. Thank you for like helping me set that up. You know, that does come up, but like Raven's Crime, the benefits are so minuscule that I don't think is worth it personally. Other comments, just leave comments with feedback on the build. This is like 100% my brew. I looked at, like, I think 2 years ago, Thraben U did a deck like this. A few months ago, Bosch and Roll did a video like this. I think other people have tried putting Uro into Loam Pox. I would argue that this is the purest form in the sense that we don't really have a plan B. Like, we're trying to win on Uro. And we are trying to navigate the game into a situation where we're winning with Uro. And it's an absolute joy to play. And again, I'll probably never play this in paper because I don't have Mox Diamonds and I definitely don't have Tabernacles. But like if I decided to become like a lands player or something like that, then I'd probably have access to those, and I'd probably consider playing this because it is really, really fun. I'll leave it there. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.